This is Retro Sports Radio. Visit RetroSeasons.com for more sports history.
On September 30th, 1954, the Cleveland Indians faced the New York Giants at the Polo Grounds for Game 2 of the 1954 World Series. The Giants led the best-of-7 series 1-0, and this is the Mutual Radio broadcast of Game 2, featuring announcers Al Helfer and Jimmy Dudley.
The Gillette Cavalcade of Sports is on the air. Baseball fans, this is Al Helfer greeting you from the Polo Grounds in New York, where the Cleveland Indians and New York Giants soon will take the field for the second game of the 1954 World Series. Once again, your host is the Gillette Safety Razor Company, which takes pleasure in bringing you this and other great sporting events, such as the football bowl games and Triple Crown of Racing, as our way of saying thank you for using Gillette products. And now for a special pregame treat, we turn the microphone over to a distinguished member of baseball's Hall of Fame, Frankie Frisch. Frankie's down in the clubhouse, all set to interview Dusty Rhodes and Vic Wertz. Come in, Frankie Frisch.
Good afternoon, fans. Well, it was quite a ball game yesterday. I've been in a lot of World Series games, but that ball game yesterday was a dandy. And nobody left the ballpark until my guest, Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, Frank.
How are you, Dusty? Hey, what'd you hit off Bob Lemon? What was that pitch?
Yeah, it was a curveball, Frank.
Well, did you hit against him before?
Well, only once. It was 2 years ago, I think it was.
What happened?
I was called out on strikes.
Wait a minute, you were called on strikes? What'd you do, take 3?
Took all 3 of them.
Well, now, how'd you feel yesterday walking up the plate?
Well, Frank, you've been in a lot of these games. I was a little nervous.
You're not kidding. The old Flash was really nervous. I mean, did you walk up the plate and say, well, Mr. Lemon, whatever you throw, old Dusty's going to cut and slash, and if it goes, it goes. Where was the pitch, Dusty, high or low?
It was a little below the belt, away from it.
Look, have you changed your stance since you've been on the Polo Grounds? We hear so much, they say, oh, that right field fence is short, the left field fence is short. And I was very much interested in what Bobby Fellas said the other day. He said, now, look, he's talking about the Cleveland Club. He said we had a lot of chances to hit the ball up in the seats, but we just didn't do it. And Rhodes came up and pulled one, and there went the ball game. How was it?
Well, Frank, I've had the same stance that I've broken baseball with 1947. I haven't changed a bit.
You've always been a pull hitter, right?
Always.
And Leo sent you up in the right spot.
He said, grab a bat, you're hitting.
You didn't feel any nervousness, eh?
No.
Hey, Dusty, where's your hometown?
Frank, I was born in a little town out in Montgomery, Alabama, Matthews, and I'm staying in Rock Hill, South Carolina now.
Hey, did you ever play in that Montgomery ballpark?
No, I never did.
I saw Babe Ruth hit one. You know the embankment? They have an embankment out there in left field. It runs from the left field foul line to around to center field. And I saw the 3 outfielders standing up on that bank, and Ruth hit one in that Montgomery ballpark, and the 3 outfielders looked like mountain goats chasing this ball that Ruth hit. Babe could have had 3 home runs on it, but he just, lobbed around the bases. And he had a laugh at those 3 outfielders up and down that...
That was in Crampton Bowl, wasn't it, Frank?
Hey, you hit the name right on the head. That was it. Say, Dusty, I was very much interested in that ball game yesterday. I got a great kick out of it. What was the most interesting play to you yesterday?
Well, I thought, Frank, that catch Willie Mays out in center field with a couple men on.
Oh, that was a terrific play, and it saved the ball game.
Yes, it did.
Say, the fellow, I thought he was going right up in the center field seats. Never stopped. He has no fear of fences.
No,
great catch.
Seen him bounce off a couple of them.
Say, Dusty, I'd like to have you take this new Gillette one-piece razor set. Now, look, back here, this is what I'm interested in. This 1954 Gillette World Series record book. Hey, you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And, say, fans, I'd just like to say a few words to the fans listening in. Your favorite store has a special World Series package, razor and book, both for the price of the razor alone. And continued success in this series, and keep whacking them.
Thank you, Frank.
Nice
I'll always use this.
Okay, thanks, Dusty. our next guest is a fellow that had a terrific day, Vic Wirtz. Vic, nice to have you on our Gillette program.
It's a pleasure to be here, Frankie.
Say, what do you got there, young man?
This is what is known as a shin guard, and saved my leg quite a bit, and my instep also. I have a bad habit of hitting myself in the leg with a foul tip off the bat.
Oh, in other words, while you were up hitting and during the game, when you cut at that ball, the foul tips whack you, and they hurt, don't
they really hurt, believe me, so that's the reason for this.
Just, can we get a picture? I want to see how Vic puts that on. Now, which foot is it?
It's on the right foot. It's my front foot, being a left-hand hitter, and this goes on exactly like that with the strap coming around the bottom of the foot.
Oh.
That's on there. That's all there really is to it.
Now, listen, did you have any trouble with that shin guard yesterday in running the bases?
I had a little difficulty, pardon me, on a ball that I hit the right field. Mueller made a throw in the first base, and of course I hurried back to the bag. And when I hit the bag, it was a wild throw. This snap unbuckled. When I came into second base, it was flopping around on my foot. So instead of going to third, I had to stay at second.
You'll have to get some way of flipping that thing off going down the first base line. That might have cost the ball game, right?
It could have cost the ball game, and today I'm thinking about leaving it off for the first time in 2 or 3 years.
Well, now listen. How many hits yesterday, Mr. Wirtz?
Well, I'll have to figure a little bit. I think it was 4, wasn't it?
Hey, you know we all, anybody that's ever played the ball game, we always remember those hits.
Well, you know.
We never remember the strikeouts, right?
Never remember the strikeouts.
And I still think the hardest ball hit in that ball game went foul. And that's the ball you hit, a left-hand hitter hitting to the opposite field. That ball was really smacked, the one you hit up against the scoreboard in left field. What pitch was that?
It was a fastball high and away, Frank, and I had to go to left field. It was away from me. I couldn't try to pull it, so I just tried to slap at the ball.
Say, the Giants will have to learn how to pitch to you.
I hope they don't learn for the next 6 games.
Well, you hit most everything, did you? Fastball, K-ball?
I think every assortment they had.
I think they tried everything. I even thought they threw a couple of sliders up there.
I hit a slider. I hit a curve.
Say, Vic, I got a little gift for you. I know you'll enjoy this. It's a Gillette razor.
This is very familiar. I already have one, Frankie, but I can always use another one.
Hey, the old Flash use them in the morning.
Yes, sir. Feel mine, too. I use them, too.
I get a kick out of it. And what I like about it, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I get a kick out of it, it's the 1954 World Series record book. And fans, I hope you'll take the old Flash's advice and get yours right now, because last year, we had a little tough time. We run out of them, and we got to get them right now. Don't wait. Vic Wirtz, thanks kindly for being with us.
Thank you, Frankie.
Well, fans, it's time to wind up our clubhouse interviews for this afternoon, and now we're going up to the broadcasting booth. Thank you kindly.
Today, we're ready for the second game of the 1954 World Series between the Cleveland Indians and the New York Giants. And the broadcast this afternoon is authorized under the broadcasting rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before the lineups are to be given to you, I should like to say that due to a special presentation made by the Defense Department here yesterday, and the stepping up of the time schedule in order that the field could be cleared in time for the beginning of the ball game, we were unable to bring you the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner from this ballpark. However, from today on, throughout the rest of the series, we shall be proud to bring to all our national anthem. And now, here are the starting lineups for this afternoon's ball game for the Cleveland Indians. Leading off will be Al Smith in left field. Hitting number 2 will be Bobby Avila at second base. The number 3 hitter in the order will be Larry Doby in center field, followed by the number 4 hitter, Al Rosen, in center field. Al Rosen at third base. Then comes Victor Wirtz at first base. Wally Westlake will be in right field in place of Dave Philly today. He'll hit in the number 6 position. Strickland the shortstop. Higgin the catcher. And Early Wynn will be the pitcher. He has won 23-11 with 3 shutouts this year. Ladies and gentlemen, Perry Como and our national anthem. the singing of our national anthem here as the sun finally breaks through at the Polo Grounds in New York City. We had a cold, misting rain all morning, and it was very doubtful that this ball game would get underway. But the sun has come out now as Johnny Antonelli warms up along with early wind to get this ball game started here at the Polo Grounds this afternoon, the second game of the 1954 World Series. And here's the starting lineup for the New York Giants. Whitey Luckman will lead off. He'll be at first base. Alvin Dark, the captain of the ball club, will be at shortstop and hit second. Don Mueller, the right fielder, hitting third. Hitting fourth will be Willie Mays in center field. Then comes Hank Thompson at third, batting fifth. Batting sixth, Monty Irvin again in left field. Batting seventh, Little Davy Williams, the Dallas dandy, will be at second base. Batting eighth, Wes Westrom, the catcher. And the pitcher, the surprising southpaw this year, Johnny Antonelli, who has won 21, lost 7 in the National League, and has pitched 6 shutouts over the course of the year. He's a Rochester, New York boy, now living in Lexington, Massachusetts. And Early Wynn, who has won 23 and lost 11, has pitched 3 shutouts for Cleveland, will be on the mound this afternoon. He's appeared in 40 games. He's from Hartford, Alabama, now makes his home in Nokomis, Florida. The plate umpire here this afternoon, American League's Charlie Berry in a fine one, Jocko Conlon of the National League at first, Johnny Stevens of the American League at second, Al Barlick, who handled the plate so capably here yesterday, will be at third base. He's the National League umpire. At the left field line will be Lon Warnicki, the Arkansas Hummingbird, and Larry Knapp of the American League will be down the right field line. So that's how the stage is to be set here this afternoon for the playing of the second game of the 51st Series in the competition between the American and National Leagues for the World Series honors. And once again, this afternoon, it is the pleasure of Jimmy Dudley and me to be here for the Gillette Safety Razor Company over these mutual microphones to bring you the account of what we see down on the field. We sincerely hope that you'll enjoy being with us for the afternoon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we introduce our co-worker for the afternoon, and it will be he who will start off, let's pause 10 seconds here for station identification. This is Mutual, the radio network for all America.
This is WGN, the Chicago Tribune station, your exclusive World Series station in Chicago.
Right back at the Polo Grounds in New York City, where we're about to begin the second game of the 1954 World Series. The New York Giants come out to take the field. They've won one ball game here in the series and lead the Cleveland Indians 1-0 in the series. So now, I should like to introduce for the first portion of this afternoon's play-by-play, the young gentleman whose southern voice sort of streaked into the hearts of the country yesterday, working his first World Series broadcast. From Cleveland, their fine broadcaster, Mr. Jimmy Dudley. And it's been a pleasure to be with him, and I know this afternoon we're going to rear our ears right back and get some more of the same. Jimmy, how about you today?
Thank you, Big Al, and hello, baseball fans everywhere. Ready to go in the second game of the 1954 World Series. And an interesting note on the two pitchers, Johnny Antonelli, the left-hander for New York, and the right-hander Early Wynn, 34-year-old veteran of the Cleveland pitching staff. Neither has worked a World Series game before. In fact, I was quite startled to learn from Early Wynn that he has never even seen a World Series game prior to yesterday here at the Polo Grounds in New York. Obtained by the Indians in 1948, Wynn is making his first appearance in the World Series due to the fact that he was not purchased or traded to the Indians by Washington until December of 1948, the last time that the tribe was in a World Series. Johnny Antonelli was the property of the Boston Braves in 1948, but he worked just a short time, had no record with the ball club. And, of course, as we all know, Antonelli went from the Milwaukee Braves to the New York Giants. And it was one of the greatest things that could have ever happened to Leo DeRocha and the Giants obtaining the services of this young left-hander. Who was their top hitter in the year with 21 victories as against only 7 defeats. The Indians saw him in spring training, and I can tell you right now, the boys on Al Lopez's club have a great deal of respect for this fellow who can really fire. He has a lot of swift, a left-hander with plenty of speed, good curve, and good control. When you find a left-hander with control, he'll give you a whale of a lot of trouble in any ball game. He's taking his final few warm-up throws, and the weatherman broke into the spirit here just about an hour ago as he cleared the skies overhead. The sun has broken through, and the Polo Grounds right now are bathed in sunshine. Al Smith, the Indians' left fielder, stepping into the batter's box, and it's play ball. The Giants winning the first game by a score of 5-2 yesterday, got off to a head start on the Indians. And, of course, they'd like nothing better than to take number 2. The tribe, of course, would like to even it up as they head for Cleveland for game number 3 tomorrow. Al Smith steps into the batter's box. The Indians' left fielder batted .250 in the first game. Up 4 times yesterday, had 1 hit. Antonelli looks down the alley, checks his sign. Back of the plate is umpire Charlie Berry, and quickly time is called.
They're just now clearing the field, and the last piece of the bandstand goes back under the shed. And now we're back in position. Umpire Berry motions play ball, a veteran of the American League umpiring staff. Here's the windup, and the first pitch of the ball game is swung on. A high fly ball is going deep out into left field. That ball, if it stays fair, is going to be trouble. It's a home run for Al Smith on the first pitch of the game. And Al Smith has come through, marking his name in the record book along with others who have opened a World Series game with a home run. And you can find the others that did it in the Gillette World Series record book. It's yours absolutely free, remember. That little record will be found on page 92, and Al Smith joins the select company of others whose names ought to be found in that Gillette World Series record book. First hit, a home run. The Indians lead 1-0. Bobby Avila's up now. Right-hand batter, he takes ball one high. The ball hit by Al Smith was right on the foul line and fair just by a couple of feet. That is his second hit of the series. Bobby Avila, Indian second baseman, batting 200. Swings on the next pitch and hits a ground ball to the shortstop. Doc is up with it. The throw to first, and Avila is out in a close play. Jock O'Conlon, the umpire at first, calling the play. One out, and the batter is number 14, Larry Doby. Doby, a left-hand batter, steps into the box. In yesterday's ball game, he was up 3 times officially and had 1 base hit. Left-hand batter against left-hand pitcher. He takes ball when a curveball breaking outside and low. Ball on the count. The outfielders are playing him just about straight away, feeling that he will not be able to pull the left-hander, Johnny Antonelli. The Indians lead 1-0 in the first inning. 1 out. The next pitch, Doby swings and he misses a fastball. The count is even up. Ball 1 and strike 1. Larry Doby, star center fielder with the Indians in the American League play of 1954. RBI champion of the league and home run king. Next pitch to him is a strike. He let a changeup go by, and the count is ball 1 and strike 2. One and 2 the count with 1 out and nobody on. Batter on deck is Al Rosen, the Indian third baseman. Doby batted .272 during the regular season. Here's the windup. Antonelli's pitch, and Doby drops quickly to the ground for ball 2, high and inside. 2-2 count. This promises to be quite a battle between 2 boys who really know how to fire that ball. Willie Wynn and Antonelli. Left-hander versus right-hander. Youngster versus the veteran. Right side of the infield, deep. Davy Williams, second baseman, midway between first and second. The next pitch is strike 3 called. He struck him out. Doby is called out on strikes. There are 2 gone. There is the first strikeout of the ball game. Brings up Al Rosen, number 7, the Indians' third baseman. Rosen, in yesterday's ball game, was up 5 times, had 1 hit. That was an infield hit. His average during the regular season, an even 300. Last year's most valuable player in the American League, unanimous choice. He came up with quite a few injuries this year. 2 out and nobody on. The first pitch to him is ball 1, outside. The field in wonderful playing condition. In spite of the rain which we had last night and this morning. The outfielders around toward left. Monty Irvin deep and straight away. The next pitch is too low for ball 2. Ball 2 and no strikes to count. Monty Irvin in left for the Giants. Willie Mays in center, pulled over toward left center shade now. Don Mueller in right field. Tony Cuccinello coaching at third base for the Indians. At first is Red Cress. Here's the windup. The next pitch to Rosen is a strike. Knee-high pitch is in there. Antonelli being very cagey, not giving him anything too good on that 2-0 pitch, but still in the strike zone. The count is 2-1 with 2 out. The first inning, the Indians at bat. The leadoff man, Al Smith, hit a home run on the first pitch. Here's the windup. The 2-1 pitch. Rosen swings and fouls it off to the right, out of play, back into the stands. And the count is now ball 2 and strike 2. Rosen will hit a lot into right field, surprising many fans who have not seen him before. And ball players, for that matter, they play him usually to pull. But he has good power into right center or down the right field line. Powerfully built boy. 2-2 the count. Antonelli checks for his sign. Wes Westrom, the catcher. The next pitch is high and outside for ball 3, and the string is out. Full count of 3-2 on the batter. And if Rosen should stay alive, it'll bring up the Indians' first baseman, Vic Wertz. 2 out here in the first inning and nobody on. The Indians lead 1-0. Here's the windup by Antonelli. Rocks twice on it. The 3-2 pitch is ball 4 outside. He tried to break a curve to the outside corner. Missed it. And Rosen takes a base on ball. So there is the first walk of the game. And it brings up number 23, Vic Wertz, drawing a nice hand from the crowd who watched him in yesterday's game, and those that didn't watch him read about it, of course, in the many newspaper, radio, and television accounts of the battle. Wertz, during the season, batted .256, but yesterday he had 4 out of 5. An .800 batting average to start off in his first World Series. That's a pretty fair bit of hitting. He had a triple, a double, and 2 singles. The first pitch to him is ball 1, too high. Wertz will hit left-handers, as he has proved during regular season play. It was a happy day for him when he was purchased by the Indians from Baltimore. Runner on first, leads away. The next pitch is swung on. A ground ball is hit foul down the first baseline, out of play, fielded by Whitey Lockman. And Johnny Antonelli, ever alert, racing off the hill to cover in case that ball was fair. The count is ball 1 and strike 1. Rosen, who was on his way to second, now back to first. Jocko Conlon, the umpire, at first base. Stevens at second. Barlick at third. Charlie Berry back at the plate. Warnick and Knapp are on the foul lines. 2 out in the first inning. A runner on first. The 1-1 pitch to Wertz is too high for ball 2. Ball 2 and strike 1 the count. On deck is Wally Westlake. In today's lineup, a right-hand batter against left-hand pitching. Antonelli is set, checks the runner at first. The 2-1 pitch is ball 3. Inside with a curve. Westrom fires the ball back to his pitcher. That message of let's get it over. Ball 3 and strike 1. Westrom, a veteran of many campaigns, had a fine day in yesterday's game. The outfielders are just about straight away. Here's the stretch. The 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 outside, and Wertz takes a base on balls. Rosen now moving to second. Runners on first and second with 2 out. Coming up is number 31, Wally Westlake. So Antonelli here in the first inning has struck out 1, walked 2, and given up 1 hit. A home run by Al Smith, the Indians' leadoff batter. Little conference now as Captain Al Dock comes in to talk with the pitcher and the catcher, Antonelli and Westrom. Dock is the leader of the Giants, and a great one. Trotting back to his position now, and Westlake steps in. Outfielders now move around toward left. Monty Irvin, deep and straight away. Runners lead off with 2 out. The first pitch, Westlake swings and routes one through the middle, out of the second base into center field for a base hit. Here is Rosen coming around third, but he is being held up. The throw, a perfect strike into the plate by Willie Mays. And now Rosen, unhampered by injuries, might have been able to come on and try for the score. He would have had trouble, even a fast man. There was a perfect strike from Willie Mays, the center fielder, to Wes Westrom, the catcher. And now the bases are loaded, and here comes Leo DeRocha out of the Giant dugout. Wants to talk to Antonelli. And we have a left-hander warming up in the Giant bullpen. John Wendy McCall is the left-hander warming up. Al Smith led off in the ball game and hit a home run on the first pitch. Avila grounded out. Doby was called out on strikes. Rosen and Wirtz walked, and Westlake singled sharply into center field. Rosen still limping quite badly as he rounded third, but was given the hold-up sign, and a good thing for the Indians and for Rosen. Yes, sir, that Willie Mays is just as amazing as any ball player has ever been or ever will be. He's already established as a major league star. He's certainly carrying a big load, though, for a 23-year-old. But he's not the youngest player on the Giants. That honor goes to Joe Amalfitano, bonus baby, who just turned 20 last January. Not only their ages, but all players' heights, weights, batting positions, and past performances ought to be found in the new Gillette World Series record book. Better get yours right away. Mays again thrilling the crowd. Of course, for years you'll hear them talking about that great catch he made in yesterday's ball game. Going to the wall in deep center field to pull down a ball hit by Vic Wirtz that would have been a home run in almost any ballpark in the majors. Leo DeRocha, the Giant manager, has had a talk now with Johnny Antonelli, hoping to quiet him down with the bases loaded and 2 out. DeRocha goes back to the bench. Westrom stays with the pitcher for a last few words. So Wally Westlake has come up with his first World Series hit. The bases are loaded with 2 out, and George Strickland steps into the batter's box. Strickland was 0 for 3 in yesterday's game. During the regular season, batted .213. Right-hand batter. The runners move off. The first pitch is ball one high and inside. A fastball up around the brim of the cap, and Strickland now steps out. Ball on the count. Red Crest coaching at first base, shouting encouragement down to his batter. A change in the Giant bullpen. Jim Hearn, a right-hander, starts warming up in place of McCall. Here's the windup. The next pitch. Strickland takes a strike, a fastball. A throw to second is going to be close. Wirtz comes back on a head-first dive. Getting a hand on the bag just ahead of the throw. Westrom to Davy Williams. Real heads-up baseball. Westrom brought a perfect throw to Williams. And Wirtz knew he had to get back in a hurry. There are 2 out here in the first inning. The Indians at bat with the bases loaded. 1 run home. George Strickland, the batter, with a count 1-1. Rosen on third, Wirtz on second, and Westlake on first. The windup. The next pitch is a changeup outside for ball 2. The count is 2-1. Batter on deck is Jim Hegan, Indian catcher. The outfielders are playing him just about straight away and shallow. The 2-1 pitch. Strickland swings and pops it up to the infield. Right side. It is Whitey Lockman calling for this one. 100 now. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. So in the first inning for the Indians, mark up 1 run on the total of 2 hits. There were 2 walks and 3 men left. Going into the last half of the first inning, the score is Cleveland 1, New York Giants nothing. Don't let that future Rookie of the Year in your family hook you on the end of a baseball question during the series or in the months to come. Get yourself and him one of those fact-filled Gillette World Series record books, and you can dish it out with the best of them. This authoritative book is jam-packed with dope little leaguers like to discuss. Scores of series games, modern record-breaking feats, players' rosters, basic rules, composite box scores of the 53 series. And it's free when you buy the one-piece Gillette Super Speed Razor, travel case, and Blue Blade dispenser at the regular price, just $1. Be sure to pick up one tonight or tomorrow at the latest if you want to really rate with your little guy. They're going fast. And now the last half of the first inning. The Giants coming out for their turn at bat. And Early Wynn, number 24. The big burly right-hander for the Tribe is ready to work. A ball player who is strictly business. And on the day he's pitching, nothing else matters. He's pitching. And he wants to work himself into a mean mood. He makes no bones about it. He says, sure, I'm mean. That's my bread and butter out there on the mound. He kicks the rosin bag now off the mound, back to the grass behind him. and is ready to go to work. He won 23 ball games during the regular season while losing 11. And the last month of the campaign was one of the most effective pitchers in the American League. Number 25, Whitey Lockman, the Giants' leadoff batter, steps in. Left-hand batter, he had 1 out of 5 in yesterday's game, posting a 200 batting average for the series in one game. Here's the wind-up. First pitch is ball one outside. Ball on the count. Herman Franks, the coacher at third base. Freddie Fitzsimmons at first. The sun leaves us briefly, we hope. Next pitch, Lockman swings and chops one off the plate. Out toward the pitcher's mound. Wynn comes fast, picks it up, fires to first, and the runner is out on a close play. Wirtz taking that throw right out of the path of the runner. Lockman was digging hard, hoping to beat it out. Wynn with a quick throw got him. Lockman going out, pitcher to first, 1-3. In case you're scoring the game along with us, we hope you are. 1 out, and that brings up Alvin Dodd, the Giants shortstop. He had 2 out of 4 yesterday, giving him a 500 average to start off in the World Series of 1954. Batted .293 during the regular season. Feet wide apart, a right-hand batter. Wynn's first pitch, he swings at it and fouls one off to the right, coming back into the stands, out of play. Strike one the count. Strike one the count. Wynn looks down to his catcher, Jim Hegan. Here's the windup. The next pitch is swung on. There's a line drive going out into center field, but Doby, playing him perfectly, moves over a step or two and makes the catch. 2 gone.
Number 22, Don Mueller.
2 up and 2 down. The next batter, number 22, Don Mueller, the Giant right fielder. Mueller batted .342 during the regular season. In that tight National League batting race, Willie Mays, the winner, Duke Snyder of the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Mueller of the Giants. Mueller was second. Yesterday, he had 2 out of 5. A left-hand batter. 2 out, swings on the pitch. It's a ground ball, a long hop, taken by Bobby Avila at second. The throw to first, and Mueller is out. Mueller grounding out. Avila to Wirtz. 4-3. 4-3. So for the Giants in the first, it's no runs, no hits. Nothing across. And the score at the end of the first inning, Cleveland 1, New York nothing. Say, if you don't have that up-and-at-'em look and feel wonderfully refreshed after a shave, this is for sure. You're not using today's one-piece Gillette. It takes shaving cream and this precision-made razor to turn the trick. Why pass up shaving comfort and convenience? Get an up-to-date one-piece Gillette. Well, Al, we certainly got off to a big start as that Al Smith stepped in there with that first pitch for a home run, didn't we?
Well, you kept telling me several times that this guy will liable to tag that first pitch, and I kept saying to you all day, we do that once in a very long time in the World Series, but your predictions all came true this afternoon, boy.
Well, you know, there's quite a thrill in watching a batter step in there. Smith is noted for his ability to get a base on ball, but he has been notorious all season long for that first ball, if it's to his liking. He reminds me a lot of Ken Keltner, member of the Indians in 1948 when they played the Boston Braves in the World Series. Smith was a softball player in St. Louis just a few years ago, and that's why that choppy, quick swing of his. Now in the first half of the second inning, leading off for the Indians is Jim Hegan, the Tribe catcher, right-hand batter. Antonelli is ready. The first pitch is swung on. A ground ball is hit fair down the third baseline. It's right over the bag, going all the way to the wall, and Hegan makes the turn at first. Is going for 2. Irvin is up with it. The throw into second. Too late. Hegan is in there on the slide, safely with a double. Going 0 for 4 yesterday. This, then, is Hegan's first hit of the series, a 2-base hit. It split the bag at third base. Actually landed in foul territory, but went over the bag fair. A 2-base hit. Hit number 3 for the Indians off Antonelli. And the batter is Early Wynn, the Indian pitcher. Hearn continues to warm up for the Giants. Wynn is a switch batter. and a pretty good hitting pitcher. Runner on second and nobody out in the second inning. Antonelli checks the sign. The runner back at second. The pitch, and there's a bunt down the third baseline. Hank Thompson, the third baseman, in. Up with it, the throw to first, and Wynn is out as Hegan moves to third on the perfect sacrifice. The sacrifice for Wynn going out. Third baseman to first baseman. 5-3. And now the runner is on third with one out. The batter, number 32, Al Smith. The infield now moves in. They'll try to close the door on this run. Tony Cuccinello, coaching at third base, moves in to say something to Jim Hegan, who is the base runner. Big, tall, 6'3" Jim Hegan. Big and yet one of the fastest men on the squad. First pitch to Smith. Ball one, too low. Antonelli giving him a changeup on that first one just in case he had any notions. He was going to hit it. He'd have to furnish his own power. The Indians lead 1-0. First half of the second inning, one out. The next pitch, a strike, a beauty, waist high, right over. And the count is ball one and strike one. Smith backs out and calls for the rosin bag. Bobby Avila is on deck. The outfield playing Smith straight away. Infield in tight. Antonelli shakes off a sign. Here's the windup. The 1-1 pitch is swung on. The ground ball is hit foul down the third baseline, fielded by Hank Thompson, who moves just about as quickly as any ball player in the business at that position. Ball one and strike two the count. Thompson, after giving the ball to Antonelli with a few words, trotting back to his position. It's always interesting to watch them. They move around from time to time, shouting to one another behind the glove, moving in to pass on a bit of information to a pitcher. The count is 1-2. First half of the second inning with one out. Hegan led off with a double and was sacrificed to third by the pitcher, Early Wynn. Now Smith moves back into the batter's box. Here's the windup. The 1-2 pitch, he swings and fouls it down the left field line. It's curving into the crowd, out of play. Ball one and strike two. Well, we started the ball game with the sun out, very bright. Right now it is obscured by the clouds overhead. And a little bit dark. But, of course, remember, in World Series play, they can turn the lights on anytime they want to. Antonelli is in action. The windup and the 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. He struck him out. Smith going down swinging on a fastball. That is the second strikeout for Johnny Antonelli. And now Bobby Avila is coming up. Avila grounded out in the first inning, his first trip to the plate. Antonelli and Westrom get together along with Henry Thompson. They realize that here is one of the most dangerous batters in the business. As witness his .341 batting average doing American League play during the season. Hegan on third with two out. First half of the second inning, the score Cleveland 1, New York nothing. The windup. The first pitch, Avila swings and hits a high pop foul down the third baseline. Henry Thompson, third baseman, over near the stands. He's under it, and he has it. But the out that retires the side. And a fine bit of pitching on the part of Johnny Antonelli. Man on third and only one out, and he closed the door on the runner. For the Indians in the second, no runs, one hit, one man left. And going into the last half of the second inning, the score is Cleveland 1, New York nothing.
And now the kings of heel and toe, Johnny and Joe. Hey, dig these taps in 2-4 time. You guys and dolls should rave. We look sharp too, 'cause we just had a super Gillette shave. When you are beat, a fast slick shave gives you a charge you see. Say, I could dance my shoes right off Gillette shaves are for me. To look sharp, yes, your very best. To feel sharp all the livelong day. Just be sharp and skin whiskers off in the quick, refreshing Gillette way.
While the supply lasts, you get the new Gillette World Series record book free with the Gillette Super Speed Razor Set. Pick up your copy in time for tomorrow's game. Back at the Polo Grounds in New York, going into the last half of the second inning, Willie Mays will lead off for the Giants, with the Indians leading by a score of 1-0. Mays batted .345 to win the National League batting crown, and in yesterday's ball game was up 3 times without a hit. Right-hand batter. Wynn's first pitch to him is ball 1 high and inside. Wynn has won 17 or more ball games every season since joining the Indians in December of 1948. Second year that he has won 23. Next pitch to Mays is fouled back to the screen, out of play, and the count is even up. Ball 1 and strike 1. Wynn is a tough pitcher, possessing a good fastball, curve, and the knuckler, or what he terms the fingertip pitch. Works the same way that a knuckleball pitch does, but he throws it with the fingertips. The 1-1 pitch is ball 2 outside, a curveball breaking away. The count 2-1. He's not a fast worker, takes plenty of time in between each pitch. Always studying his batter. The outfielders are deep, straight away, but far back. Here's the windup in the 2-1 pitch. Mays backs off from ball 3, high and inside. The count is now 3-1. The Giants center fielder looking down to Herman Franks, coaching at third. Leading off here in the last half of the second inning. On deck is Henry Thompson. Just as Wynn started his windup, Mays stepped out. 1-0 ball game with the Indians in front. Last half of the second. Now Wynn is into the windup. The 3-1 pitch. Swung on, and a fly ball is hit into right field. High and far, but plenty of room for Westlake under it now. He has it. Route number 1. One away.
Number 16, Hank Thompson.
That brings up number 16, Hank Thompson, the third baseman. Thompson batted .263 during the regular season, had 1 out of 3 yesterday, giving him a good start at .333 in World Series play. As Bobby Avila said the other day when somebody was asking about his hitting during the regular season, he said, that's all over now. We all start even. The World Series. Egan out with a few words for his pitcher. Now back in position. 1 out and nobody on in the last half of the second inning. The outfield pulling around toward right as Thompson steps in, a left-hand batter. First pitch to Thompson is a strike, a fastball working to the outside corner waist high. Strike 1. Playing Thompson to pull. Strickland almost over to second base. Next pitch is way high with a knuckleball, and it is now ball 1 and strike 1. Occasionally, that pitch will get away from the best of them. Wynn takes that slow, rocking windup of his. The next pitch is ball 2, a fastball high and inside. 2-1 the count. Bobby Avila, the second baseman, is moved midway now between first and second. Deep to the edge of the outfield grass. Wirtz covering close to the line with a count 2-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on and a fly ball is hit out into left center. Moving over fast is Al Smith. Under it now, he makes the catch. Route number 2. Thompson fired to Al Smith in left center.
Number 20.
Coming up is number 20, Monty Irvin. Here's a boy that hit .458 in the 1951 World Series, as the Gillette World Series record book shows. Thumbing through this little book, you get a great deal of information. Irvin steps in a right-hand body, crouches over, First pitch is a strike. Fastball, letter high. Irvin, left fielder. 0 for 3, looking for his first hit. 2 out and nobody on. The next pitch is strike 2 with a curve. Irvin steps out, a little bit surprised as that ball exploded away from him, but caught the corner. 0-2 the count. And the next pitch is strike 3 called with a curveball. Little high. Again, he leaned away from the plate. He's called it on strikes. There is Wynn's first strikeout of the game. And for the Giants in the second, no runs, no hits, nothing across. At the end of 2, the score is Cleveland 1, New York 0. And now we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, the radio network for all America.
This is WGN Chicago, the Chicago Tribune station, your exclusive World Series station.
Back at the Polo Grounds in New York City, the second game of the 1954 World Series. Now, I understand that in moving to Cleveland tomorrow that they're expecting a crowd between 75 and 80,000 for the third game of the World Series.
Well, I know this much, Jimmy, that if it's anything like that New York series, New York Yankee-Cleveland series we had out there with you fellas just before the decision was made on the American League pennant, we can expect even more than that. Many people have said that it will probably be a record crowd for not only World Series, but also to ever see a baseball game, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised that might be right.
Well, depending on the weather, they have a good chance of setting a new record, Al, and it's a great deal of pleasure and gives us a great deal of pride to be able to sit with the fans and on the World Series. We wish that more could see them. However, we hope that you folks all around the world are enjoying our reports. All right, in the first of the third, it'll be Larry Doby leading off. Left-hand batter was called out on strikes in the first inning. First pitch to him. His ball went outside. Ball on the count on Larry Doby, Indian center fielder. The sun still trying to break through. Occasionally looks down on us. Here's the windup. The next pitch is ball 2, high and inside. Watching this youngster, Antonelli, you can't help but feel that he's a little bit nervous, as undoubtedly all of the boys were in the first game yesterday. The 2-0 pitch. Doby swings and he misses a fastball. He figured right, but Antonelli fired it by him. The count is now ball 2 and strike 1. Lots of pepper in the Giant infield. Thompson, Darth, Williams, and Lockman talking it up behind their pitcher. Okay on the sign. The 2-1 pitch. Doby swings, tried to hold back, but it was a fastball strike called. 2-2 count. The wind is just the opposite from what it was in yesterday's ball game, blowing toward left field today. Cross from first to third. The 2-2 pitch. Doby takes strike 3 with a fastball to the inside corner. He's called it on strikes. And boy, he knew it. The minute that pitch was in there, he walked quietly away. Second time that he has been called out on strikes. The third strikeout for the Giant left-hander. He'll give you a battle right down to the wire, that's for sure. Posting a record of 21-7 during the regular season. Al Rosen now steps in. He walked in the first inning. Swings on the first pitch, and it's a ground ball past the pitcher. Doc moves over toward second, is up with it. The throw to first, and on a nice play. Rosen is out. Oh, that Doc really showing you how to play that position. Rosen grounding out. Doc to Lockman, 6-3. 2 up and 2 down, and the batter is number 23, Vic Wirtz. He drew a base on balls in the first inning. Now the outfielders are pulling around toward right with nobody on and 2 out. Antonelli started the windup. Now pauses and goes back to the rosin bag. 2 out. Here's the windup. The first pitch to Wirtz. He takes ball 1 low into the dirt. Good stop by Wes Westrom. Second game of the 1954 World Series. The Giants won the first 5-2. The Indians leading this one 1-0. First half of the third. The next pitch. Wirtz swings and hits a line drive out of a second base into center field on the hop. Going out to Willie Mays. Wirtz holding up at first on the throw to the infield. And there is his fifth hit in World Series play. This being his first World Series. So it gives him 5 out of 6. Certainly has the fans buzzing. Now stepping into the batter's box is Wally Westlake. In the first inning, he singled into center field. Right-hand batter. Wirtz on first. Lockman holding against him with 2 out. Here's the stretch. First pitch to Westlake is ball 1 high and outside. A lot of people have asked about the little shin guard that Wirtz wears on his right leg. Looks like an abbreviated catcher's shin guard. He wears it to protect his instep from the foul tips. Always foul the ball on his foot. Next pitch to Westlake is ball 2, a fastball high and inside. 2 and no count. With 2 out in the first half of the third inning. On deck is George Strickland. Antonelli okays the sign, checks the runner. The pitch is high for ball 3. 3 and no count. Notice that he's been having a little trouble with the curveball and his changeup. Again, Jim Hearn goes to work down in the Giant bullpen. Leo DeRocha, taking no chances, wants to have a man ready to rush in there in case he should need him. Even with 2 out, a lot can happen. The Indians lead 1-0, the first of the third. The next pitch is ball 4 outside. He missed with a curveball. Westlake takes the walk. Wirtz moves to second. Third base on balls, given up by Antonelli. And the batter is George Strickland. Strickland came up in the first inning with the bases loaded, 2 out, and popped to the first baseman, Whitey Lockman. Doesn't hit often, but he has come through with some very timely base hits. Runners on first and second. Moving off, ready to travel. The first pitch is fouled, pulled far down the left field line into the crowd. Count is strike 1. Wirtz on second, Westlake on first. Outfielders playing Strickland straight away. Antonelli is up with a stretch. The next pitch is swung on a ground ball hit to the shortstop. Doc is up with it, throws over to Williams at second, forcing Westlake, and the side is retired. Strickland hitting into a force play. Westlake is out at second, 6-4. So in the third inning for the Indians, no runs. 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 men were left. And going into the last half of the third inning, the score is Cleveland 1, New York 0. And now fans, here's veteran first sacker Mickey Vernon of the Washington Nats. A slick, dependable fielder. Mickey's twice won the American League batting crown. Say, Mickey, how about this game as a career?
Baseball has been good to me, Jimmy. A young man with talent can have a good life in the game.
And Mickey, how about that further word for the younger fellas?
This is important for young men and some older ones, too. I guess everybody wants to be successful, and as a starter, you've got to look neat and really clean, as if you think something of yourself. You certainly have got to look well shaved. For me, that means to use the Gillette razor.
And that's it, Mickey, and many thanks to you. Mickey uses the Gillette Super Speed razor that shaves you clean in a breeze. $1 complete with Blue Blade dispenser and travel case. Right now, you get the World Series record book free. And now we go into the last half of the third inning here at the Polo Grounds. Leading off for the Giants is Davy Williams, the second baseman. Williams was up 4 times in yesterday's ball game, but went hitless. He's probably wondering what's happened to these Indian pitches in spring training when he hit them as if he owned them. Right-hand batter, the little fella's in there waiting. Wynn into the windup. The first pitch is fouled back to the screen. Strike one. Strike one to count. Williams leading off in the last of the third. The Indians out in front by a score of 1-0. Wynn okays the sign, works into the windup. The pitch is strike two with a curve. Breaking down and away from a right-hand batter. The count is strike two. No Giant runner has reached base as yet. On deck is Wes Westrom. The 0-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. Egan drops the ball but picks it up, tags Williams before he can get more than 3 feet away. Williams goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Wynn. And it brings up the Giant catcher, Wes Westrom, who surprised a lot of people yesterday with his hitting. After batting only 187 during the regular season, he had 2 for 4. And the 2 outs were line drives, one of them into right center that Larry Doby pulled down to rob him of a base hit. So Westrom is off to a good start with a .500 batting average for the first day's play. 1 out and nobody on. The first pitch to him is ball 1 high and inside. Again, the skies are clear above us. Pass to the third with 1 out and nobody on. Here's the windup. The next pitch, Westrom swings and he misses. Good long stroke, boy. He was going for the long one. Ball 1 and strike 1 the count. Al Smith, the Indians' left fielder, deep and straight away. Wynn's next pitch is ball 2, high. The count, ball 2 and strike 1. Al Smith in left field, Larry Doby in center, Wally Westlake in right. Rosen, Strickland, Avila, and Wirtz the infield. The Indians lead by a score of 1-0 as a result of Al Smith's leadoff home run, the first pitch of the ball game. Now Westrom steps back into the batter's box with a count ball 2 and strike 1. Here's the windup. The 2-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen out of play. Even up count 2-2. Ball 2 and strike 2. A new ball tossed into play. Smith's home run was one that cleared the roof right on the foul line into left field. All right, the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back to the screen, and Westrom is still alive with a count 2-2. I was back into the press box where writers from all over the country are working today's ball game. 2-2 count. Wynn's windup. And the 2-2 pitch. Pulled foul down the third baseline, out of play. Mike Garcia, the Indians' right-hander, has been announced as the tribe pitcher for tomorrow's game, the third game of the World Series, which will be played at Cleveland's Municipal Stadium. Leo DeRocha has stated he will announce his starting pitcher after today's game. Next pitch to Westrom is ball 3, outside and low, and the string is out. Full count of 3-2. Wynn was hoping to get one to the outside corner about knee-high, but it missed by a shade. And it is now 3-2. One big pitch left. Payoff pitch, swung on, and the fly ball is hit deep out into left center. Al Smith racing back, moves under it now, and he has it for out number 2. Westrom. Fly to Al Smith in left center. And that brings up the pitcher, Johnny Antonelli. Watching these batters strive to hit one toward left center, and right center. You know, no one will ever knock a home run out of this park in dead center field, that's for sure. The Gillette World Series record book shows it's the toughest home run barrier in the majors. 475 feet from the plate and 60 feet high. It's a long throw out there toward that center field wall. Antonelli, a left-hander all the way, steps in, takes ball one. First pitch outside. Speaking of long ball hitters, Antonelli has had 2 home runs here in this ballpark during the regular season. 2 out and nobody on. Next pitch, swings and pulls it foul down the first base line. Wirtz moving over to field the ball, but foul, out of play. Ball 1 and strike 1. The Indians out in front by a score of 1-0. 2 out for the Giants. When okay's the sign from catcher Jim Hegan. The 1-1 pitch, Antonelli swings and puts a high fly ball into right field. Westlake moving in, waiting for it now, and he has it. The side is retired. As again, the Giants go down in order. No runs, no hits. Nothing across, and at the end of 3, the score is Cleveland 1, New York 0. And now we head into the first half of the 4th inning here at the Polo Grounds in New York. The Indians leading by a score of 1-0. Speaking of that long center field wall here at the Polo Grounds, and it is a mighty clout, I think there's just one ball player. Alpha can back me up on this. Joe Adcock, I believe, Al hit one of those left center field bleachers, didn't he?
Yeah, he hit one out into the left center bleachers, but there was also a story out, and I believe it to be true, that the big fellow who used to play first base for the Cleveland Indians when he was in the Negro League hit one into the right center field stands here. And you know who I mean, don't you?
Yep, Big Luke Easton hit one in those right center field bleachers.
It's quite a poke, Jimmy. I doubt you're going to see it very often.
That's for sure. Hank Lieber, the one-time Giant player, 1937 World Series, hit one back there in the well, which DiMaggio pulled down in the shadow of that marker says 483. Now we head into the first of the 4th. Jim Hegan is the leadoff batter. Antonelli's first pitch to him is ball 1 outside and low. For the double in the 2nd inning, was sacrificed to 3rd but left stranded as Smith and Avila went down for the fine pitching of Johnny Antonelli. Here's the windup. Next pitch, Hegan swings. The ball is hit out into right center. Mays is traveling, going still under it. Has it. That's a good catch. The turn for the fans, and they love it. Wow. Yes, sir, he really patrols that garden. That'll bring up the pitcher. 1 out and nobody on in the first half of the 4th inning. When the teams move to Cleveland, that huge outer garden of Municipal Stadium, we should see some great plays. We've seen them here. A chance to sort of measure Willie Mays and Larry Dope, 2 great center fielders. Early Wynn, batting right, swings on the first pitch, foul back to the screen, strike 1. Strike 1 to count. The Indians today have left 6 men on the bases. And yesterday, in the last 3 innings, they left 7 on. Next pitch to the Wynn. He swings and fouls another one down the right field line. The stands. Strike 2. Going to the count, 1 out. Nobody on. A new ball is thrown into play by the umpire back of the plate, Charlie Berry, of the American League umpiring staff. It's very close here in New York. Hot, humid day. Ball players are really getting plenty of opportunity to perspire, or as they say, sweat. Going to the count, 1 out. Antonelli's next pitch, Wynn swings and he misses. Westman dropped the ball, picked it up quickly and tagged him. And it is the 4th strikeout for Antonelli. And nobody on the bases. Brings up the leadoff batter, Al Smith. two extremes. In the first inning, he hit a home run on the first pitch. Second inning, Antonelli struck him out on a fastball. The Indians lead 1-0. Here's the windup, and the first pitch to Smith. Ball went high and inside. On deck is Bobby Avila. The Indians have a total of 4 hits. No giant runner has reached first yet off early wind. There is a strike, a curveball dropping over knee high, and the count is even up. Ball 1 and strike 1. Wind is a little stronger now. And of course, it has helped to clear up the skies. Make way for today's ball game. It certainly didn't look like it this morning. The 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. Outside. The count is 2-1. Antonelli has 4 strikeouts. And has walked 3 men. Ball 2 and strike 1 on Al Smith. The Indians left. Double rocket windup by Antonelli. Hung on, pulled foul, down past third base. Cuccinello, the little round man, coaching at third for the... Made a pass at it, but decided to let it go. Little fella that has played a lot of baseball in his time. He posted a lifetime of around 287. Turn to the count on the batter. 2 out and nobody on the bases. Antonelli puts into the windup. The pitch is swung on, foul into the upper deck of the left field seats. A long strike and quite a scramble. But the fans up there for a souvenir. A mad scramble for a ball that costs $2.50. $85 suit, but get that ball. Ball 2, strike 2 the count. Antonelli in action. The fastball is inside and low. Ball 3, and it's a full count now, 3-2. I notice neither pitcher has been shaking off the catcher. Antonelli has done it, I think, once or twice. Wynn has no sign that the fans can see, or any of us in the press box, stands and waits. The 3-2 pitch. 4, inside and low, and Smith takes a base on. That is the 4th walk given up by Antonelli. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's got 4 hits. But he's been effective when the chips were on the table. Again, there are 2 out, and the Indians have a runner on first. That'll bring Bobby Avila. Avila now has 1. He's been to bat 6 times yesterday. Up 4 times yesterday. He had 1 hit. Up 5 times yesterday. So it's 1 out of 7. Scored one of the Indians 2 runs yesterday's game. Grissom. They came up with a well-deserved victory. 2 out, runner on first. The pitch is ball 1, a fastball high and outside. Smith on first. One of the American League's daring base runners. Playing fast. Quick to take advantage of any break. Any lapse on the part of an outfielder. 3 times during the season, went from first to third on a sac bunt by Avila. The next pitch, Avila swings, and there's a hard swing. Beautifully knocked down by Thompson. Up the throw to second, and is out. A beautiful play. Thompson coming up with a wet stop on Avila's hard smack into left field. A great play for Thompson. Is probably saying highway. And Smith was 4th. Third baseman is second baseman. 5-4. So for the Indians in the runs, no hits. 1 man left. And going into the last half of the 4th inning, score is Cleveland 1, nothing. Fans on the Indians today is Bob Feller. It's his 17th year as a Major League star. You know, he had to say the other day that I think fans Here's how he puts it. When I'm bushed, he's shave makes me feel like a new an old super speed razor. And wouldn't feel plenty good. It's handy one piece and change blades in a jiffy. A quick rinse cleans it. Complete with Blue Blade Gillette Clipping and Travel Case, $1. Speed goes for just Gillette. The new bigger World Series record free. Better snap while they last. Now add to your baseball enjoyment now and all year round. And now it's the last of the fourth, and the fans here at the Polo Grounds are calling for a little action on the part of the Giants. White Sox leadoff man, the top of the batting order. First pitch, ball one inside. Wynn has retired 9 men in a row. Cleveland 1, New York nothing. Alvin Dark on deck. Rhodes moves in case of a bunt. The next pitch is ball 2. Outside. 2 no count. Ball 2, no strikes. The Indian right-hander. Pitches a strike. Fastball waist high. Ball 2 and strike 1. He's a great competitor, this Wynn. Okay. Okay's the sign from his catcher, Higgins. The 2-1 pitch. Lockman swings and fouls a knuckler back to the screen. Watch Wynn a lot of times, even with that knuckleball. Have a count of ball 3-0 with a nut on a certain batter. He wants to get him out with a knuckle. He stays right with it. He recalls the time that he was ball from Yogi Berra when the count of 3-0 strikes struck him out. Knuckleball pitches. Here's the foul. Lockman swings and pulls it foul down the first base line. Getting Freddie Fitzsimmons out of the way. Ball 2 and strike 2 the count. Last half of the fourth, the Indians leading by a score of 1-0. Lockman, there's the windup, and the 2-2 pitch. Swings and he misses. He's struck him out. Coming up now is Alvin Dark. Nobody on. And right now, 10 seconds for station activation. This is Mutual, a radio network for all of GM.
WGN, your World Series station in Chicago.
Now Dark steps in with 1 out and nobody on. First pitch is a strike. Wynn getting the outside corner with a good curveball. Second game of the 1954 World Series. Next pitch is ball 1 outside. 1-1 the count. Just broke on top by taking the first 2, beating Bob Lemon 5-2. Yesterday, Wynn and Antonelli going in the number 2 game today. Outfield is straight away, but deep in all field. Next pitch is a strike with a fastball. Just above the knees. And, of course, you use Wynn with that knuckleball. Fastball seems even faster. 1-2 count. The pitch is swung on a ground ball. The shortstop, big hop taken by so the first in time. Dark is out. There are 2 gone. And coming up now is number 22, Don Mueller. He's 2 for 2 in this. You know, he was number 2 man in this year and had a solid 333 for last year. For past performances of all players, check the great new Gillette World Series record. You'll get a lot more pleasure out of these games when you have it. The book is free. The regular 1-piece Gillette razor at the regular price. 2 out and nobody on. Mueller, left-hand batter, swings out. Pitch and throws one foul. That's the right field line into the seats. Out of play. A thrill for the fans in that direction. But a foul ball. Just a long strike. Wynn's next pitch. Wide of plate for ball 1. 1-1 the count. This is the last of the fourth, with the Indians leading by a score of 1-0. Mueller up in the first inning, grounded out. Second to first. 2 out and nobody on. There are 2 out and nobody open. Wynn pays the sign. Your fastball swung on a fly ball to right field. Westlake moving over the side. He has it. And the side is retired. 12 Giant players have gone down. No hits. And not a Giant man has reached first. At the end of 4 innings, the score is Cleveland 1, New York nothing. Fans, the better you know America, the better the future looks. We, along with Canada, are growing and improving in just about every way. Our population has been increasing at an amazing rate, giving us more families, bigger families. Our working force has expanded greatly. Life expectancy is longer. We're saving more and spending more, eating more and better food. The benefits of education, travel, and leisure are enjoyed on a scale never before known. Discoveries and inventions have created new and exciting opportunities. Our Canadian, as well as our American listeners, to write for the free booklet, Future of America. Address Box 1776, Grand Central Station, New York, 17, New York. A special issue in French is also available. Going into the first half of the 5th inning, the Indians leading the Giants 1-0 here at the Polo Grounds. Speaking of Indians, Al Lopez, the manager of the tribe, had a visitor today. He got quite a kick out of watching the ceremony, presentation of a real Indian chief headdress, presented to Al Lopez by a fine old friend of his, full-blooded Indian, Yellow Horse, at one time a pitcher with the Pittsburgh Pirates. A friend of Al Lopez over the years. And now in the first of the 5th, it'll be Larry Doby. His 3rd time to the plate. Antonelli has struck him out twice. Called it on strikes both times. First pitch, Doby takes ball 1. Curveball breaking outside and low. Ball 1 the count. Outfielders around toward right. The next pitch, Doby swings and hits a fly ball. And he's one out into short left field. Coming in fast is Monty Irvin. He's under it now and makes the catch. He got a late start, but caught up with it for the out. That brings up Al Rosen. The Indian third baseman has a walk to show in 2 trips. First half of the 5th inning. This ball game really moving along. Antonelli's wind-up. The first pitch, Rosen takes ball 1 inside and low. The only run of the game came in the 1st inning when Al Smith, Indians leadoff batter, hit the first pitch over the left field roof. Next pitch to Rosen. He swings and hits one through the hole into right field, a base hit. Hitting to the opposite field between second and first. Rosen is on first now with hit number 5 for the Tribe. That is his 2nd hit of the World Series. 1 out, a runner on first, and Vic Wirtz steps in. He has a walk and a single. And certainly has the highest average of all of the players in the series thus far. Wirtz is batting .833 at the present time. Yesterday's game and today's. 1 out. First pitch to him. He takes a strike. Fastball by him about knee high. Antonelli showing the stuff that made him one of the best pitchers in baseball during the year. We'll work carefully on him. Next pitch to Wirtz is a foul hit into the stands off to the left of the plate, out of play, strike 2. That one going far into the upper deck. The Indians have had runners on base in every inning of the game, but have been unable to score. They left 3 men on in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and left 1 in the fourth. They now had a total of 5 hits, and Antonelli has walked 4 batters. But he's had it in the tight spots. This time he has a runner on first with 1 out in the first half of the 5th inning. Here's the stretch. A look to the runner at first. The pitch is swung, and there's a fly ball into left field. Monty Irvin moving back is under it now. He has it for out number 2. Antonelli pulled the string on Wirtz, gave him a changeup. He hit it to the opposite field. 5-ball to Monty Irvin. That brings up Wally Westlake. A single in the first inning. He walked in the third. Right-hand batter. Indian teammates call him the Beast. He's powerfully built. First pitch is a fastball, blazed through the middle. Strike one called. Rosen on first with 2 out in the first half of the 5th inning. Strike one to count. Rosen takes a short lead. Next pitch is wide of the plate, ball 1. 1-1, the count is even up. Batter on deck is George Strickland. Antonelli tugging at his cap, nodding vigorously to his catcher, Wes Westrom, on the sign. The 1-1 pitch, hit foul down the third baseline. Strike 2. This been fielded by Tony Cuccinello. Ball 1 and strike 2, the count on the batter. The Indians leading by a score of 1-0 as a result of Al Smith's home run. Antonelli checks the runner. The next pitch is low into the dirt. Bounced up and hit Westlake. Rosen holding at first. The count is now even, ball 2 and strike 2. Rosen will not take any chances on the bases. Not with that leg, which is still a little lame. It's a matter of a torn muscle in the thigh. 2-2 count. Antonelli now steps onto the rubber. Outfielders deep and around toward left. The 2-2 pitch. Ball 3, over but too low with a curveball, and the string is out. Full count of 3-2. And now with 2 out, Rosen will be on the move. Whitey Lockman, with the right-hand batter up, moves to first base to hold him. Westlake's single in the first inning was into center field, right through the middle. It's in the third. 3-2 count. Takeoff on the sign. Antonelli okay on the next. The 3-2 pitch. A swing and a miss. He struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Johnny Antonelli. Boy, this is a real humdinger. Westlake goes down swinging, and for the Indians in the 5th, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. And going into the last half of the 5th inning, the score is Cleveland 1, New York 0. Say, when it's hard to get rolling in the morning, there's nothing like a clean, refreshing shave with shaving cream and a Gillette Super Speed razor to shift you into high gear. Those look good, feel great shaves really come easy with this wonderfully convenient razor. Twist the handle and the razor opens. Hook on a blade, twist again, and you're all set. To clean both razor and blade, simply rinse under the tap. What do you say? How about enjoying the comfort and convenience of the modern Gillette Super Speed? Including Blue Blade dispenser and travel case, it's only $1. And with it, you get the new Gillette World Series record book free. Last year's edition went before we knew it. This year's enlarged book is going even faster. So you better hurry. And our fans here at the Polo Grounds in New York, the second game of the 1954 World Series, going into the last half of the 5th inning. The score, Cleveland 1, New York Giants 0. And now to take over and carry on the rest of this broadcast, here is Mutual's Al Helfer. Al, come in.
All right, Jimmy, 1 down in the series, and with the score 1-0 right now in favor of the Indians. They're trying to even it up and hold their perfect World Series record. You know, they've won 2 World Series, have lost none. Well, let's see what happens. Old man Tuff is out on the mound for the Cleveland Indians this afternoon. Early win. He's pitching now to Willie Mays. Comes in with an overhand fastball, and Willie, who is 0-for-1, leans back and takes that fastball off the shoulder for ball 1. Willie Mays came up in the second inning, sent a fly ball to right field. It was gathered in by Wally Westlake. And in the fairness of reporting, we should tell you that the Giants have had no base runners in this one so far. There's a curveball to Willie, partially swung on, and enough to have it called a strike against him. 1 ball and 1 strike on Willie Mays, who is 0-for-4 in series play so far this year. He went 0-for-3 yesterday. He's 0-for-1 this afternoon. Early when the old McComas right-hander delivers a pitch high that almost gets away from Hegan. That'll be ball 2 to Mays.
That's it. This Wynn has really been mowing them down. It isn't that Johnny Antonelli isn't pitching a good ball game. He is. He's pitching a fine ball game, but early Wynn just happens to be pitching one a little bit better. Wynn, the barrel-chested right-hander of Cleveland. Very serious-faced fellow, takes his sign from Hegan. Looks down at Willie Mays, the right-hander. Pitches to him, a fastball right under the chin. That's ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. It's a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Cleveland Indians. They have 1 run, 5 hits off Johnny Antonelli. One of the 5 hits was the first pitch ball. Al Smith tagged it over the left field wall for a home run. A let-up curveball to Mays is outside for ball 4, and there's the first man to get on base for the New York Giants this afternoon. The first base on balls to be given up by early Wynn. Now, everybody, I don't know whether this will have anything to do with the record book or not, and I doubt whether we could find it. But I'm almost sure it might be. On 2 successive pitch balls by 2 different pitchers, 2 home runs were the results. If you'll go back to yesterday's ball game, the first pitch ball, Dusty Rhodes hit it into the right field stands for a 3-run home run to win the ball game for the Giants. And today Al Smith stepped up and teed off on the first pitch thrown by Johnny Antonelli, hit it over the left field pavilion roof for a home run. Here's Hank Thompson up now. He's 0 for 1, a fly to left field in the second inning. Takes the first pitch and tie for ball 1. Willie Mays, the only base runner. He has the only stolen base in the series so far. Stole yesterday, if you recall. He's on at first. Works, holds the inside corner. Wynn checks him. Now the 1-0 pitch to the plate. Down it comes. Thompson backs off and takes the fastball over the inside corner off the hands for a called strike. Hank Thompson is 1 for 4, batting at .250 right now in the entire World Series play so far. He had 1 for 3 yesterday to post a batting average of .333 at the start of the ball game. Thompson standing deep at the plate, holds that bat way down with the knob. The little fella swings and gets a lot of power in it. Wynn checks his runner, Willie Mays, breaks back off the mound and bluffs Willie back into first base. The outfield for Thompson is fanned around the right and they're playing deep, particularly Wally Westlake in right field. He's playing back very deep, back to the cinder track here at the Polo Grounds as the sun breaks out again. Wynn pitches an overhand curveball. It's inside. That's ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike on Hank Thompson. Herman Franks down behind third, putting on the signs for Thompson and for the base runner, Willie Mays. This is the first opportunity the Giants have had. And a man on the bases. And we'll see how carefully early Wynn pitches here with a man on. Bobby Avila deep in the hole between first and second with this left-hand hitter up there. Al Rosen playing a shallow third. Time is called for the moment while Hank Thompson steps away from the plate to rest the perspiration from his hands. A lot of it here this afternoon, too, because it's warm and it's humid. Sort of a misty haze hanging over the Polo Grounds. Wynn's ready, delivers, fastball swung on, there's a line drive, hit the right field, it's in after the base hit. There goes Willie Mays, galloping past second, he's on his way to third. Westlake throws to second to Avila for the hold-up ball, Thompson at first. So here in the 5th inning, finally the Giants dent the pitching of early Wynn. They get the first base hit off him. Runners at first and third, and Dusty Rhodes is coming up to the plate. The guy who sent that home run into the right field stands yesterday on the first pitch in the 10th inning. Rhodes is batting for Monty Irvin. There's the announcement for him. Here's the guy who's the undoing of Bob Lemon, who pitched a very brilliant ball game here for Cleveland yesterday. He was the undoing of Bob Lemon, and he's being sent up against early Wynn here this afternoon. The tying run for the Giants on at third base. It's 1-0 ball game. Runner at first. Second is open, nobody out, and early Wynn is in trouble. Dusty Rhodes coming up to the plate, batting 1,000 in the series. First pitch to him, the left-hand hitter swings on it. There's a high foul ball hit off the first base line. Word's coming over. I doubt he can get to it. He can't. It's into the stands, out of play. Dusty Rhodes, who cuffed the first pitch yesterday into the right field stands in the bottom of the 10th inning with 2 men aboard to give the Giants a 5-2 surprising win here at the Polo Grounds. And it's he being called upon again by the county manager, Leo DeRocher, to see what they can do about facing early Wynn. Willie Mays playing very safely at third base, not taking much of a lead. Hank Thompson holding glued pretty much to first with Wirtz on the inside corner. Outfield around the right, needless to say, playing deep. Early Wynn ready. Delivers a fastball, and right down into the dirt goes Dusty Rhodes as that ball flips in off the skip of the cap. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Rhodes. Boy, you got the fans buzzing here at the Polo Grounds now.
Dusty Rhodes digging in. He's a big fella. Left-hand hitter, stands just off the plate, holds that bat way down with the knob. Now Wynn is set. Checks his runners, delivers 1-1 to the plate. A fastball swung on a miss for a strike. Dusty was really after it, and there was no question at all what he had in the back of his mind. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dusty Rhodes. Last half of inning number 5, the Giants with runners at first and third as they finally cracked into early Wynn's service. Wynn walked Mays. Mays then going all the way around to third when Hank Thompson rifled a single in the right field. Rosen bluffing over to third to keep Willie Mays close as Wynn steps up on the rubber. The count on Dusty Rhodes, pinch batting for Monty Irvin, is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Will history repeat itself? Let's see. Wynn settles down into position, hesitates. Rears back, delivers a plate. Rhodes swings. There's a high foul ball hit back to the screen. That's out of play. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. As we said a few minutes ago, despite the fact the sun is now out here at the Polo Grounds, there's sort of a murky haze hanging over the city of New York. It makes it particularly difficult when the sun is gone to see the ball too well. Of course, as Jimmy told you, the lights can be turned on in World Series play at any time. Now Wynn is set. Runners at first and third, nobody out. In comes the pitch. Rhodes swings, hits a pop fly into center field. Doby's going to have to hurry. Comes on. He can't get to it. It's in there for the base hit. Willie Mays comes in. There's the throw to third. Thompson slides. He's safe. Rosen throws back to Avila. And Rhodes gets down to second on the throw in. Dusty Rhodes, who batted in 3 runs yesterday for the New York Giants, has just batted 1 in today. So that'll give him 4 runs batted in. That ties up the ball game here in the last half of the 5th inning. Willie Mays coming in to score from third base easily. And down in the bullpen very quickly for the Cleveland Indians, Don Mossy, the left-hander, and Ray Norleski, the right-hander, jump up and start to get heated up. So Rhodes is on at second base, taking second on the throw-in, which tried to catch Thompson as he moved over on that dunk single into center field, moved all the way around from second on into third base. And 47 times at bat as a pinch hitter, Dusty Rhodes now has delivered 17 times this year. That means a percentage of about 360. That's pretty tough. Davy Williams up there now with the infield drawn in tight, takes the first pitch from early Wynn, fired in there high for ball 1. All locked up here at 1 apiece. The New York Giants and the Cleveland Indians. They've got the hammers out and they're going this afternoon. Runners at second and third. First is open. The Cleveland infield is drawn in tight. Early Wynn with his back against the wall. Rears back, delivers to Davy Williams. The pitch is swung on. There's a high foul ball hit off the first base line. Vic Wertz digging over to the stands. He cannot get it. It's unplayable. Way back into the crowd. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count on Davy Williams. Here in the last half of the 5th inning, the Giants have scored 1 time to tie it up. They've gotten only 2 hits off early Wynn, and both of the hits having come here in the last half of inning number 5. Mays, who was walked, brings back to mind that old adage, to walk the first man in an inning is fatal. Wynn delivers the plate now to Williams. It's a fastball high. It's ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Young Davy almost went for that pitch. Wynn out there perspiring, trying to dry his hand. There's Hank Thompson stepping down off third. Dusty Rhodes moves off second. Wynn pitches the plate. It's a fast, tight curve inside for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike to count on Davy Williams, batting number 7 in the Giants order. Williams has been up once today, came up in the 3rd inning and struck out. One of the 3 strikeouts spun here this afternoon by the Cleveland right-hander. Thompson hugging very close to third with Rosen very close to hold him on. The pitch to the plate to Williams is swung on and foul tip. So he had the green light on the 3-1 pitch. It's now 3-2. It's swung right on and fouled right back into the mask of Jim Higgin. Wynn takes his cap off on the mound, dries his forehead, steps up, kicks dirt, scrapes his cleats along the pitcher's rubber. Infield still playing up tight. Now the pitch to the plate on the 3-2 count. Williams swings. There's a high foul ball coming right up over our Gillette microphones. I don't think anybody's going to get to that one. 3-2 remaining is the count on young Davy Williams. With first base open, nobody out. Giant runners at second and third. Dusty Rhodes coming in as a pinch batter for Monty Irvin, dumping a Texas Leaguer into center field to drive in the tying run. Give him 4 runs batted in for the series of the 6 that have been hit in by the Giants. Wynn delivers 3-2. The fastball is over for called strike 3. So Williams goes out of there. And early Wynn hangs up strikeout number 4. Coming up to the plate now is Wes Westrom. He's 2 for 5 in World Series play. And in this ball game, he's 0 for 1. Came up in the third inning, hit a ball well, but hit it out into left field where Al Smith was able to range off to his left and make the catch. Time has been called for the moment while Al Rosen talks to his pitcher, Early Wynn. He turns and trots back toward third base. The situation here in the last half of the 5th inning, 1 out for the Giants. Hank Thompson is on at third. Dusty Rhodes, who batted for Monty Irvin and delivered a pinch single to drive in the tying run, is on at second, and first base is open. And Wes Westrom up there. The first pitch to West is high and outside. Fastball that almost got away from Hagan. 1 ball and no strikes. All locked up at 1-1, wouldn't you know it? Well, they said there was going to be a lot of excitement in the 1954 World Series when the Giants and the Indians got together, and by George, we've had it. 1 ball, no strike count on Wes Westrom, right-hand hitter. In comes the next pitch, fastball, laid in there about face-high for ball 2. Wynn has gone to the fastball on occasions, and particularly so on Wes Westrom. Westrom steps back. Moves right back up to the plate now and digs his spikes in. Infield playing up tight, hoping to get a chance to cut the run off the plate. Wynn delivers a let-up curve. It's also high, and that's ball 3. 3-0 to Wes Westrom. Here in the last half of inning number 5, 1 out and 2 on. Ball game tied at 1 apiece. And they're going to put him on now. There's ball 4 way on the outside, and that means that Johnny Antonelli will be coming up, he or a pinch batter. And while we see who is coming up, let's pause here 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, the radio network for all America.
This is WGN, your World Series station, Chicago.
Leo DeRocher sending up his good hitting pitcher, Johnny Antonelli. I think Jimmy Dudley told you earlier in the broadcast that Antonelli had poked a pair of home runs into the right field stands here at the Polo Grounds, so they're going to give him a chance to bat for himself here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Score is 1 apiece here between Cleveland and the New York Giants. Thompson is on at third, Rhodes at second, and Westrom is on at first. So more than definitely now, Early Wynn has his work cut out for him. Etched right up on the wall in big letters. Wynn delivers. Antonelli, hitting left-handed, takes a curve outside for ball 1. Freddie Fitzsimmons wiggling his fingers down at first base, trying to get the attention of base runners. Infield has moved back to double play depth now, particularly the Keystone combination. Wynn delivers. Curveball swung on by Antonelli and missed for a strike. It was broken right off the fists on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike on Johnny Antonelli. Johnny came up in the second inning, sent a pretty good fly ball to right field, and Westlake went off to his right to capture it. That retired to side in the third. Antonelli standing just off the plate, almost straight up and down. Now leans over. Wynn throws him the fastball, and it's swung on, hit down to the right side. Bobby Avila out with it. Goes to Strickland for 1 out at second. The throw to first is not in time. Wynn comes in to score. Johnny Antonelli gets the run batted in, and the Giants now lead 2-1. Coming in from third base to score on the force out at second, Hank Thompson. And the force out at second caught Wes Westrom sliding in. The ball went from Avila, who picked up very nicely, fired back to Strickland. Throw on the first base, not in time, and Dusty Rhodes, of course, ankled right over and took possession of third. So the Giants have runners at first and third. Second is open. And up is Whitey Lockman, the leadoff man of the New York Giants. 2-1 now in favor of New York. Wynn delivers a curve. Whitey Lockman swings, hits it just outside of first base foul on the ground. Ball strike 1. One of the finest slides we've seen in a long time was Westrom flicking his feet into second base there to try to keep Strickland from firing that ball on over to first to get Antonelli on a twin killing. Sky Dusty Rhodes has done all right so far for the Giants in the pinch hitting department, getting 2. There's a pitch to the plate to Lockman low. Count on Whitey is 1-1. If memory serves me rightly, well, wait a minute. I don't have to depend on my memory. Let's go to that little Gillette record book here and see. That's right. Brown has 3 pinch hits in the World Series. So Dusty Rhodes is just one shy of that. Dr. Bobby Brown. There's a fastball. The Whitey Lockman swung on, hit down to Vic Wirtz, who has the ball handcuffed him. He picks up, throws over to Early Wynn, covering in time for the putout. There's a nice play by Vic Wirtz on the recovery. He had that ball completely handcuffed him, and Early Wynn, playing heads-up baseball, was over to cover. Vic Wirtz picked that ball up and flipped it backhanded to Early Wynn in time to get the putout at first base. Whitey Lockman almost hit that ball through Vic. So that's all here for the New York Giants in the last half of the 5th inning. A 3-1 putout on Whitey Lockman to retire the side. However, the Giants come up with a pair of runs to go ahead. 2 runs on 2 base hits. There was 1 walk in there. There were 2 men left on, and there were no errors. So the score at the end of 5 full innings of play now, the New York Giants 2 and the Cleveland Indians 1. Well, it's really one for the books. What a quick, easy shaving cream shave with a Gillette razor can do for you. It makes you look your up-and-coming best and feel great right off. Try today's handy one-piece Gillette and see. Well, here at the end of 5 innings at the Polo Grounds, means that the groundkeepers come out and sort of manicure the infield, get it all set for the remainder of the ball game. And it gives us an opportunity here of taking a look at the totals. Right now, for the New York Giants, they have a total of 2 runs on 2 base hits. They have committed no errors, and so far they have stranded just 2 men. For the Cleveland Indians, coming up with 1 run, they have 5 hits off Johnny Antonelli, who will now be the front-running pitcher. And as far as errors are concerned, the Indians have none. And in the left-on bases department, they have 8. They stranded 3 in the first inning, 1 in the second, stranded 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth for a total of 8. Now, let's see, they had 13 yesterday, and they have stranded 8 today for a total of 21. They've stranded 21 men on the bases so far. Yesterday, the Giants had 9, and they have 2 today, so that's just 11. Just about half as many as the Indians have left on the bases. So it might we might find that the record will be challenged in the left-on bases department ere this World Series has reached its conclusion. Johnny Antonelli goes back to the mound now, and here in the top half of the 6th inning, he'll pitch to the last third of the batting order of the Cleveland Indians. George Strickland will be the first man up, then will come Hegan and Early Wynn. George Strickland has been up twice in this second game, and he has gone 0 for 2. In the first inning, he was out number 3, popping up and out to the first baseman, Whitey Lockman. Came along then in the 3rd inning and retired to side, forcing out Wally Westlake at second on a play that went from Alvin Dark to Davy Williams. So it's Strickland coming up first here in the top of the 6th inning, followed by Hegan, who has 1 of the 5 hits given up by Johnny Antonelli and has the 1 of the 2 extra base blows given up by the left-hander. 1 a home run by Al Smith leading off in the ball game, and then Jim Hegan led off in the 2nd inning, doubled, and died at third base after Wynn had sacrificed him there when Smith struck out and Avila fouled out to third baseman Thompson. So we move to the top of the 6th inning. Here's Strickland standing in. He's 0 for 5 in the series, 0 for 2 this afternoon. Let up curveball is over to a right-hand hitter for a strike 1 call. Antonelli now, for the first time this afternoon, is out in front. Starts his motion, kicks and throws a fastball. It's poured in there about shoulder high and misses a little outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on George Strickland. It's good fielding shortstop, this Strickland. Many times it's been said if he could hit just a little bit more, he'd be a terrific guy. There's a curveball. It's lit up on the outside corner, shoulder high for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. I know Jim was telling me before the ball game yesterday, he said one thing about it. This guy Strickland has meant an awful lot to the Cleveland infield. I've watched him all year long, and he's really been a spark plug. The 2-1 pitch, a fastball to Strickland at the knees, good for strike 2 call. Of course, you can't overlook the work of Sam Denty at shortstop for Cleveland when George Strickland was forced out with his broken jaw. Kid played with a broken finger, did a nice job for him. Fastball to Strickland, over at the knees for called strike 3. So Strickland is out of there as Antonelli wheels up strikeout number 6. He had 148 strikeouts on the regular year and has now come up with 6 here in this World Series game. Antonelli will face Jim Hegan now. Jim doubled in the second inning, doubled to left field, came along in the fourth inning and flied to center field to Willie Mays. Antonelli works to him. The big right-hand hitter takes a fastball, poured through under the letters for called strike one. Here's a kid this year has shown that often he will start shakily, and did in the 39 games he pitched for the Giants, but seems to warm to his task and get even stronger as he goes along. That's characteristic also of Early Wynn. Early had a weakening spot in the fifth inning, and the Giants were able to pick up a pair of runs to lead him now 2-1. Pitch is swung on by Higgin. There's a line drive hit out in right field. Don Mueller's got this one played just right, and he's got it for out number 2. So Higgin lines to Don Mueller in right for the second out in the sixth, and that'll bring on Early Wynn. And Early's coming up. It's a nice round of applause from the folks here at the Polo Grounds. This guy's a good pitcher. Early Wynn, a switch hitter, batting right-handed against the left-handed pitching of Johnny Antonelli, has sacrificed successfully. That sacrifice came in the second inning when he moved Jim Higgin down to third base. Came along in the fourth and struck out. Antonelli pours the first pitch to Wynn. It's a fastball that shades off outside for ball one. A lazy breeze blowing in from behind right field here this afternoon. It's not going to help or hurt the fly balls too much. That sun keeps playing hide and seek. It's out right now. Antonelli comes in with an overhand fastball, and Wynn swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike on Early Wynn. 2 down for Cleveland here in the top of the sixth inning. Antonelli trying to pace himself, takes plenty of time as he takes his sign from Westrom. Now West pops him in as a target. Antonelli delivers a big let-up curveball. It's swung on, hit off the end of the bat, trickles foul up the first base line, where Red Crest, coaching there for the Indians, picks it up and throws it out of play. So the count hangs right on for Early Wynn at 1 ball and 2 strikes, with the bases empty and 2 down in the beginning of the sixth inning. Wynn measures off at the plate, beats the meat end of the bat down on the rubber of home plate, puts that bat back on his shoulder, whips it around a couple of times. In the meantime, Johnny Antonelli tugs at his cap, kicks dirt out of his spikes. Westrom has the sign all ready for him, and now we're ready to go. Antonelli pumps once, twice, rears back and delivers. Fastball inside off the hips. That's ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Plate umpire Charlie Berry, standing right behind catcher Westrom, waiting for the next pitch. Choco Conlon is at first. Johnny Stevens at second, and Al Barlick is down at third. Lon Warnicki down the left field line, and Larry Knapp down the right field line. The 5 men in blue. Now Antonelli comes in 2-2. The plate swung on. There's a high foul ball hit right up over our mutual microphones up into the second tier. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count holding right on for Early Wynn. Right now he looks as though someone has taken a water bucket and poured its entire contents right down his neck. It's hot here this afternoon. The humidity is what has done it. And when that sun comes out and starts to boil that mist, it gets hot down on that field. It must be, because I know it's hot up here. The 2-2 count for Early Wynn. 2 down, nobody on, top of the sixth. 2-1 in favor of the Giants. Antonelli delivers a slow curve, and Wynn punches it. There's a drive going into left field. It might be in there. It's up against the boards for perhaps extra bases. There goes Early Wynn digging for second. He hauls up at second with a stand-up 2-bagger. That almost got into the left field stands for a home run. Almost. Lines up as a double for Early Wynn, and now he himself represents the tying run for Cleveland at second base if Al Smith is able to do something about it. There's hit number 6 of Antonelli. And I can well imagine it would be sweet music to the ears of Early Wynn if the ring of the bat by Al Smith would denote a base hit. As Wynn, who isn't the fastest man on the Cleveland Indians squad by a long sight, but still can move, is in scoring position should Al Smith come through. Smith has had 1 base hit. That was his home run opening the ball game. He struck out in the second, walked in the fourth. And he himself was forced out at second base on a spectacular play by Thompson. Smith, a choke hitter, batting right-handed, moves up. Down the bullpen, we've got double-barreled activity for the Giants as the first pitch is made by Antonelli low into the dirt for ball one. John McCall, the left-hander, and the right-hander is... We got two left-handers down there. John McCall... Oh, wait a minute, that's Hoyt Wilhelm. That's right. Hoyt Wilhelm, the right-hander, and John McCall, the left-hander. So Leo has a pair on tap. Antonelli looks back over his left shoulder at second base to check. See where Early Wynn is playing, then delivers a curve way inside, right down to the shins. That's ball two on Al Smith. So Antonelli's got himself some scratching trouble here. Early Wynn almost tagged him for a home run. The ball hit high on the left field wall up over the 315-foot sign. Dusty Rhodes, who went into left field after he'd batted for Irwin, went high on the wall and couldn't do it. Got away from him. Willie Mays had to make the play finally. Now Antonelli sets. Delivers to the plate. Smith takes a medium-speed fastball through there for a strike, and the count is 2-1. Ticket line for the Giants. Rhodes in left. Willie Mays in center. Don Mueller in right. You recall it was Rhodes who came in the fifth inning, pinch hit the single, and then he stayed right on for Monty Irvin. The rest of the lineup remains the same. Antonelli ready to go now to Al Smith. Checks his runner at second. That's Early Wynn, taking a pretty good-sized lead. Throws a sidearm fastball over. Called strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count on Al Smith. 2 down, 1 on. The tying run. Early Wynn is on at second base. 2-1 ball game favor the Giants here as we move along in the top of the sixth inning. The wind's whipping up a little bit more from behind right field now, blowing sort of catty-cornered across the playing field, not behind left. Antonelli has the count of 2-2 with Al Smith. 2 down for the Indians in the top of the sixth, and Early Wynn in scoring position at second. And just as Antonelli gets ready to pitch, Smith backs out. Now he's back in and ready to go. Antonelli again the check of the runner, delivers the plate, a let-up curveball, swung on and dribble up the third baseline foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Smith. Yesterday's ball game certainly was a thriller. Most everywhere you went last night, you heard folks talking about it. My goodness, what a lot of action, huh? Well, they've come right back here this afternoon and provided more of the same. Cleveland making their bid right now to tie up this ball game, and well, they might. Wynn takes his lead at second. Antonelli checks him, then delivers to the plate 2-2. The pitch is swung on and popped up off the first baseline in foul territory. Here comes Waddy Lockman digging over. He's under it. He's got it. So that's all for the Cleveland threat here in the sixth inning. Al Smith fouling up and out to first baseman Waddy Lockman to retire the side. No runs. There was 1 base hit. There were no errors. 1 man was left on. That's the 9th man to be left on here by the Indians and going to bat 6 times. Well, the score at the end of 5 1/2 innings, the second game of the 54 World Series. It's the New York Giants 2 and the Cleveland Indians 1. Well, tomorrow, as you know, the series moves to Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. They call it the perfect park. The right field and left field lines are exactly the same length. And, well, look the layout over in the Gillette World Series record book. This great little book has the diagrams of every park in the majors complete. This new edition is jam-packed with baseball lowdown, diagrams of all parks, scoring instructions, all-time records, this year's player rosters, basic rules, and plenty more for baseball fun from now on. Have you got yours? No? Well, then you'd better be sure to get this 112-page, fact-filled pocketbook in time for tomorrow's game. Buy a Gillette Super Speed Razor set for just $1, the regular price. Your free copy is attached. Better get going, though, because flies are running mighty low. The last half of inning number 6. The New York Giants leading by 1 run as the score stands 2-1. We'll have Alvin Dark coming up here in the 6th inning. Dark to be followed by Don Mueller, and then by Willie Mays. If anyone else is needed, Hank Thompson will be up there again to swing the lumber. Early Wynn goes back to the mound for Cleveland. And let's check them defensively for you. It's Early Wynn on the mound. Behind the plate, Jim Hegan. At first base, Victor Wirtz. At second, Bobby Avila. The shortstop is George Strickland. At third is Al Rosen. Out in left field, Al Smith. The center fielder, Larry Doby. And in right field, Wally Westlake. Early Wynn throwing a few pitches down to get the feel of the mound. He stood out on second base for quite some time before the third and final out was made in the top of the 6th inning. So he's thrown his quota and he's ready. Stepping up to the plate now, Alvin Dark. He's gone 0 for 2 this afternoon. He's 2 for 6 in series play. Hitting slightly over 300. Now Wynn is ready, pumps twice and throws. Curveball swung on and hit in right field through the hole between first and second for a single. Alvin Dark is on, punching one through the hole between first and second and into right. Well, that gives the Giants their third hit and sets up the situation for Don Mueller. Mueller's gone 0 for 2. He bounced out in the first inning to the right side to retire the side. Bobby Avila throwing him out. He retired the side in the fourth with a fly ball to right field. Alvin Dark steps away from first. Pickworth holds the corner on him. Now Wynn checks that runner. Looks down to the plate, delivers. There goes Dark. The pitch is swung on. The hit and run play. There's a foul ball hit off the third base line way up into the second tier. It's a loud strike. The Giants playing hit and run with Alvin Dark breaking on the pitch. Down in the bullpen, Don Mossy, the left-hander, and Ray Narleski, the right-hander, both getting warm and ready for Cleveland. In case Wynn should have more trouble here. Dark strides away from first. Wynn checks him, looks down at the plate to Mueller, pitches, and it's swung on. There's a high, lazy foul ball hit off the first base line. That's going to fade off into the crowd out of play. Strike 2 on Don Mueller. Wynn dries his hands, rubbing it down along the leg of his uniform. Alvin Dark steps off at first. Wirtz continues to hold the inside corner against him. Wynn ready now after a look at first. Delivers a great big curveball. He gets away from Hagan. And there goes Alvin Dark breaking for second. He's going to get down there pretty easily. So it's going to be a wild pitch. A wild pitch on early Wynn. Alvin Dark taking advantage of it. Moves on down to second. See, in yesterday's ball game, we had one wild pitch uncorked by Bob Lemon. So, 2 wild pitches, both of them chalked up to Cleveland pitching. One to Lemon, now one to Wynn. That wild pitch has placed Alvin Dark in scoring position here in the last half of the 6th inning with nobody out. Of course, the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Don Mueller. Pitch to him, the big curveball. Don swings on it, hits it out into right center field, left center field. Coming over for it is Doby. Makes the grab and fires in quickly to Strickland. The Dark has to hold on at second. So Mueller flies to Larry Doby, left center. And here's Willie Mays. Willie Mays has yet to get a base hit in the 1954 World Series. The old say-hey kid has been handcuffed. Of course, he hasn't been handcuffed, Jimmy, as far as playing that center pasture defensively, has he?
That's for sure, and you can watch this kid. He'll be getting his base hits before many more innings go by, Al, that's for sure.
Well, let's see. He's 0 for 1 today. Flied to right in the second inning, walked in the 5th. Scored the first Giant run. And let's see what happens with him right now. Alvin Dark's in scoring position for the Giants at second with 1 out at the bottom of the 6th inning. Early Wynn gets ready, looks down at Willie Mays, checks his runner, then delivers the fastball. Mays swings and doesn't get it. Boy, and he's spun all the way around. As the boys in the trade would say right now, Willie is base hit hungry. No balls, 1 strike on Willie. Right-hand hitter standing 3/4 deep, straightaway stance. Alvin Dark got a pretty good lead there at second base. Outside of the infield playing deep for Mays. Outfield panned around left and playing very deep for him. Wynn checks his runner, delivers the fastball. Mays cuts at it again, doesn't touch it. That's strike 2. Mays turns around, shakes his head as if to say to himself, my, what's this Mr. Wynn got? As we said the last time Willie was up, Early Wynn has gone to the fastball and pitching to Willie. It's pitched in tight both times, and Willie's gone for it. Here's the 0-2 delivery now by Early Wynn. Down it comes. Another fastball. This one swung on a miss for strike 3. So that's all. He gets Willie on the fastball. That's the 5th strikeout for Early. That's the 2nd out for the Giants here in the 6th, and still Alvin Dark is on at second. That'll bring on Hank Thompson. Little left-handed hitting third baseman. Flied to left field in the 2nd, hitting an outside pitch, and then drilled one to right field to wrap in a run here this afternoon. Rather to get a man to third, I should have said this afternoon. As Rhodes came on to bat the run in. Now Wynn is set. delivers. Thompson swings on a let-up curveball. One off the shoulder, misses for strike one. Outfield fan drastically around to right. This Thompson has 26 home runs this year in the regular season. Hits the right field stands here pretty well. Wynn ready. Checks his runner. Delivers the plate. Thompson swings again. This one's a fastball, and he doesn't get it. 0-2 on Hank Thompson. Alvin Dark still stretching his legs down there at second. Has George Strickland playing almost over behind him now as the overshift is on. That is, they're moving over toward the right field line more. Dark can't take a lead as large as he has been taking. Wynn tries a let-up pitch on Thompson. It's high for ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-1 right now in favor of the New York Giants. They're threatening to pick up an insurance run here in the last half of the 6th inning. Alvin Dark, the captain, on at second base. He singled, was wild pitched to second. While Mueller was up there, and then he promptly flied to center, and Mays struck out. Pitch to Thompson to swing on. There's a slow trickler down the first base line foul. Wirtz gobbles it up, fires it back to the mound to Wynn. Count holds right on to Hank Thompson. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tomorrow, Gillette's cavalcade of sports moves into Cleveland, Municipal Stadium, where the World Series will continue. Boy, that's a big ballpark out there. I got plenty of room to roam around. Center fielders probably be bringing their bicycles along with them. Of course, I don't think this Mays needs one. Dobie's a fast man, too. These guys can cover a lot of center field for you. Pitch to the plate now to Thompson. Levels his count right off at 2-2. Covering a little off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count on Thompson. 2 down, 1 on. Last half of the 6th inning. Giants leading 2-1. Wynn standing out there in the sunlight takes his sign from Hegan. Big thick-chested right-hander. Gets set, looks at Dark at second, delivers the plate. The fastball is swung on and popped up. It's off to the right of the plate in foul territory. Hegan says he'll take it, and he does take it. That's all. The Giants are retired here. Thompson fouling up and out to Hegan. And in the 6th inning, no runs. There was 1 base hit. 1 man was left on. Dark singled, wild pitch to second, and that's where he died. Means that 3 men have been left on now, but the Giants are going to bat 6 times, and they're leading in the ball game. Sir, that score with New York out in front is 2-1. New York 2 and the Cleveland Indians 1. Sir, I tell you that this series has certainly packed a wallop so far here at the Polo Grounds. Well, you'll get an even bigger bang out of these broadcasts if you have the Gillette World Series record book of baseball information on every team and player that ever at the regular price as long as the supply lasts. Now for inning number 7. For the Cleveland Indians, Bobby Avila, followed by Larry Doby and then by Rosen. Bobby Avila came into today's game with 1 for 5, hitting at 200. He's gone 0 for 3 this afternoon. He's rolled a short. He's fouled out to the third baseman, and he forced Smith in the 4th inning when Hank Thompson, on a diving stop of a line shot headed for left field, robbed him of a base hit and came up with a play that was rather sparkling at second base, firing back to Davy Williams. So Bobby Avila comes up now looking for his first base hit this afternoon. He is 1 for 8. So that means he's hitting a little over 200. The attendance here this afternoon has just been announced at 49,099. 49,099. First pitch to Avila. Antonelli cuts it loose, fires the fastball under the chin for ball 1. Well, we had 52,751 yesterday, and the 2-day total here at the Polo Grounds, 101,850. Antonelli gets set now. Comes in with a 1-0 pitch, and Avila takes it right through there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Avila, leading off here in the 7th inning with the Indians behind 2-1. Antonelli pumps once, kicks and throws. A let-up pitch swung on by Avila and drilled foul down the left field line up against the wall. So for Bobby, his count is 1-2. This boy's been quite a second baseman this year for the Cleveland Indians. Good man, a double play combination. Good hitter. came up with the American League batting crown this year. And I know several occasions we were out of Cleveland this year, Bobby was the difference. Sparkling play defensively and offensively. Antonelli comes in 1-2 to Avila with the fastball, and it's high outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First man up for the Indians in the 7th, Bobby Avila. Antonelli has given up 6 base hits to the Cleveland Indians. Willie Wynn has given up only 3, and he's behind. Fastball to Avila, misses outside for ball 3. So it's a 3-2 count. Antonelli turning his back on Avila, moves over, goes to the rosin bag. Now Johnny, after having dried his hand across his uniform blouse, goes down for the rosin bag, steps up there to take the sign out from his battery mate, Wes Westrom. Getting ready to fire the 3-2 pitch in here to Bobby Avila. Outfield playing straightaway and not too deep, although Avila can hit the long ball. He pitches to him low for ball 4. So there's the tying run for Cleveland on here in the top of the 7th inning. That's the 5th base on balls given up by Antonelli. And before we have the next batter up there, Larry Doby, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, the radio network for all America.
And this is your exclusive World Series station in Chicago, WGN.
Well, let's see here. With Larry Doby coming up to the plate, we can go back to the 5th inning when Willie Wynn walked the first man in the inning, and it was fatal to him. Let's see if history's going to repeat itself in this particular case. Bobby Avila, very fleet of foot on the bases. Larry Doby takes the first pitch from Antonelli, a sidearm fastball. It's inside for ball 1. Larry Doby's a pretty good hit-and-run man, and with Avila on, it's figured that they may be gone. Doby's a pretty good hit-and-run man, and with Avila on, it's figured that they may be gone. And time is called. DeRocher comes out and talk to Johnny Antonelli. Now, very rarely does Leo DeRocher lift a pitcher. He usually comes out and imparts words of wisdom. Ordinarily, when Freddie Fitzsimmons comes out, you'll have a change of pitchers, but not so many times with Leo DeRocher. However, down in the bullpen, he's got left-hander Wendy McCall ready, along with right-hander Hoyt Wilhelm. Walks past Johnny Antonelli, says something to him. DeRocher kicking dirt out at the pitcher's mound. He's got to make his mind up. He has the first guess, and that's the only one he's got. Just the same as manager Lopez has the first guess with Cleveland, and that's the one that has to stick. That's what makes a manager's job in baseball particularly difficult, because he doesn't get a chance to second-guess himself. Now the umpires come over and say, boys, don't you think we ought to keep the old ball game going? And they say, yes, sir, we believe so. So Leo DeRocher comes stomping back behind the plate with his catcher Westrom, and Johnny Antonelli is going to stay in the ball game. So DeRocher comes on over to the Giant bench. Westrom back behind the plate. Larry Doby steps in. He has the count of 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Bobby Avila, having been walked, is on at first. Whitey Lockman, with a left-hand hitter up there, is partway back to his fielding depth behind first. He's not holding Avila on too closely. Now Antonelli ready. Delivers an overhand fastball. Poured in there under the knees. That's ball 2. Johnny Antonelli, realizing that the tying run is at first base, seems to be pressing a little bit right now as he's pitching to Larry Doby. Here's a guy that led the Cleveland Indians and the American League in RBIs. Hit that long ball for you, but definitely. Antonelli throws, a let-up fastball, swung on and hit down to Whitey Lockman. It bounces off his chest. He picks it up. He's only fast to step on first base to get Larry Doby, who slides in there and is out. In doing so, Bobby Avila, the tying run, moves down to second. Doby gave that the college try. He was going to try to get in there and even slid to try to make it. So Doby is out to Whitey Lockman unassisted. The ball that almost had Whitey completely handcuffed. Bobby Avila, who can really streak, is over at second. And he's representing the tying run now for Cleveland in this 2-1 ball game. Al Rosen comes up. He's had 1 hit this afternoon in 2 official times. He walked in the first, rolled out to short in the third, and singled to right in the 5th. Fred Kress implores him to get on. See what happens. Here's a guy that can really hit that ball, snap it with his wrist. He proved that in the All-Star game when he poked a tremendous home run. Takes the first pitch, laid through there for a strike. Antonelli went to the fastball. First half of the 7th inning. Tying run at second for Cleveland. 2-1 ball game, favor the Giants. Johnny Antonelli knows he's got trouble now. Checks his runner back at second. That's Avila. Comes in with an overhand fastball. At the knees, good for a strike. 0-2, the count on Flip Rosen. Al playing in this series with a bad thigh. Doby has been bunged up a little bit, too. Rosen beats the meat end of the bat down on home plate. Chokes up slightly on the handle, gets his feet set well, pulls his trousers up. He wants to be in position to get going as much as he can. Count is 0 balls, 2 strikes on him. Johnny Antonelli, the Giant pitcher, taking plenty of time, but pitching to Rosen. Realizes that Flipper's a tough customer. Now Antonelli sets, delivers the plate. Rosen swings, hits a bounding ball right back to the mound, and they have Avila trapped off. He's moving off to second to third base now. Hank Thompson trying to run him down. Has to flip back to Davy Williams, who tags him out, and Rosen is on at first. So that play goes from the pitcher to the third baseman to the second baseman. Bobby Avila was trapped off. So the fielder's choice on the play puts Rosen on at first base. And John Antonelli tossing over to Hank Thompson, who flipped back to Davy Williams for the rundown. So that's a second out. And it's doubly important as far as the Giants are concerned because a real fast man has been taken off the bases now, and Rosen, who isn't as fast as Avila and still is slowed down even more by the fact he has a pulled thigh muscle, has been moved back actually a base, and he's on at first. But the tying run is still on for Cleveland here in the 7th with 2 down. And up to the plate comes Victor Wirtz, who was the hero of yesterday's ball game as far as Cleveland was concerned. Vic today is hitting right this minute at 7-14. Antonelli, realizing a tough man's up there, delivers a fastball and gets it in there over the fist. Good for a strike. Wirtz walked in the first inning, singled to center in the third, and flied to left in the 5th. Of the 3 runs batted in for Cleveland, Victor Wirtz has 2 of them. He got them yesterday. Rosen with the slight lead at first base. Whitey Lockman back to his fielding depth, or partially back to it with a left-hand hitter up there. In comes the pitch. Wirtz after it, hits it foul off the handle of the bat. It scoots back to the screen for strike 2. Time is called for the moment while Westrom gets the ball out to the mound. West steps out in front of the plate and shouts something out to Johnny Antonelli. Left-hander grinding that ball around in the palms of his hands. As Westrom smooths out dirt at home plate, and Victor Wirtz steps back in with his overly closed stance. Rosen about to take his lead off at first base. There are 2 down for the Indians here in the top half of inning number 7, a 2-1 ball game in favor of the Giants. They won yesterday's ball game. They're bidding for the second one here. Antonelli checks his runner. Delivers to the plate, and Wirtz takes high, right up for the cap. Vic sort of fell back from that one, went down on one hand, just to make sure he was far enough away from it. Count on Vic, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still, the 2 pitchers are throwing down in the Giant bullpen, John McCall and Hoyt Wilhelm. Now Antonelli wheels in the 1-2 delivery. Vic Wirtz takes it. It's just inside by a shade. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Vic had to have a pretty good eye to take that one. Charlie Berry right over the shoulder of Westrom called it immediately. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The tempo of the game here has slowed down considerably. Probably the humidity and the heat has had something to do with it. Outfield around to right and deep for Vic Wirtz. He'll clubber that ball for you if you pitch it down the alley for him. Davy Williams playing back on the rim of the right field grass. Alvin Dark just a couple of steps off second base on the third base side. Hank Thompson playing almost where Alvin Dark usually plays. And still the complete overshift is not on for Vic Wirtz. Now Antonelli ready with his 2-2 delivery. 2 outs, 1 on here in the 7th inning. Down comes the pitch. Wirtz swings. There's a high foul ball hit off the third base line. That's fading over near the stands. Thompson cannot get it as he charges over for it. It drops into the stands out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count on Vic Wirtz. He still has his batting life up there. I imagine Jimmy has noticed the same thing I've noticed in the playing of the first 2 games of this World Series, that everything is being done so very deliberately. Have you noticed that, Jim?
You certainly do, Al, almost as if the boys want to be overcautious in their work.
Sort of as though they were working off a script. Well, let's see what Johnny Antonelli is going to deal off now to Victor Wirtz here in the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs and Al Rosen at first. He's representing the tying run in this 2-1 ball game. Giants leading. Antonelli fires away at the plate, a sidearm curve. Outside, and that's ball 3. Came in with his crossfire and missed it. So Al Rosen will be moving down at first base now. Vic Wirtz will be looking this one over well, and Antonelli will be trying to pour it in there. This could be the pitch. One never knows. Johnny straddled the pitcher's rubber, monkeys around with his cap, then nods in agreement to the sign offered by Wes Westrom. Vic Wirtz, standing just off the plate, gets ready. Al Rosen takes his lead. He should be running this time, or probably will be. Yep, there he goes. The pitch is made swung on by Wirtz and hit foul right back to the screen. So Rosen, limping slightly, comes on back to first base. Count remains on Victor Wirtz at 3-2. Fred Kress turns and says something to Jocko Conlon, the first base umpire. Something that makes the Irishman break out in smiles. That's about the only place you'll see a smile. Most every other face on the ball diamond is serious right now. Now we're set. 3-2 pitch now to Victor Wirtz as the runner breaks. A slow curveball inside and high for ball 4. So Antonelli loses Wirtz, and he's got to go to Westlake now. The walk to Wirtz places Al Rosen down to second base. That's base on balls number 6 given up by Antonelli. He passed 95 in the National League. I think we might have a runner for Al Rosen right now. Looks as though Rudy Regalado is coming in to run for Al Rosen. Yep, he is. Rosen comes out. Regalado goes in to run.
The Indians, number 8, Rudy Regalado, running for Rosen.
If you recall, Al Rosen was on at second base in the first inning and could get no further than third on a single hit by Wally Westlake. Had he been at full strength, he might have been able to score on it, although Willie Mays did throw a fine strike in, as Jimmy told you, from center field into the plate. Regalado's running here in the 7th inning for Rosen. Means we'll have a new third baseman for Cleveland in the last half of the 7th. Wally Westlake up there with runners at first and second, 2 down. Todd threw it to waste for a strike. Of 9 opportunities Wirtz has had in this series, he's been on base 7 times. I guess that's almost par for the course. Regalado leads off at second. Wirtz steps away from first, not being held on with second occupied and 2 down. Westlake has the count of no balls, 1 strike. On a count play, Johnny Antonelli wheels around and is about to throw back to second, but there's no one there to cover, and he just bluffed the throw back, and Regalado streaks back in. 2 down in the top of the 7th. Cleveland's still alive and kicking here, hoping they'll be able to tie this ball game up, which stands right now 2-1 in favor of the Giants. Now Antonelli sets. Regalado leads at second. Here comes Antonelli, throw to the plate to Westlake. It's outside, and a bluff throw down to second has Regalado hurrying back. So Westlake's count is 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the same Wally Westlake who put in quite a bit of time as a star outfielder with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Westlake thick set through the chest and shoulders. Has a lot of power when he gets a hold of that ball. Antonelli comes in with 1-1. It's a slow curve, a let up outside for ball 2. Wally Westlake was the first Indian this year to hit a home run when the regular season started. Pretty strong wrists and forearms. Antonelli asks Westrom for the sign again and gets it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Count on Westlake. 2 down, 2 on. Antonelli delivers an overhand curve. Westlake swings on it, hits a bounding ball to short. Dark comes in, picks up. He throws to first base in time to Whitey Lockman, and that's all for Cleveland. Westlake bounces out from short to first to retire the side. And here in the 7th inning for Cleveland, the big threat set up by a walk to start things off does not materialize. No runs, there were no base hits.
There were no errors, and 2 men were left on. 11 men have been left on in this ball game this afternoon by Cleveland in going to bat 7 times. And the score at the end of 6 1/2 innings of play now remains the New York Giants 2 and the Cleveland Indians 1.
Whether you wear overalls or sport a coronet, your dough can't buy a finer blade and blue bag by Gillette. 2 shining edges, super keen, mean shaving ease, you bet.
And lots more speedy shaves per blade, so smart men buy Gillette.
To look sharp every time you shave, to feel sharp and beyond the ball, just be sharp. To Gillette blue blades for the quickest, quickest shaves.
Now the last half of the 7th inning. As Early Wynn goes back out. Pitch for the Cleveland Indians. We have a change at third base. Regalado, who came in to run for Al Rose, and has taken over for him at third here in the last half of the 7th inning. 11 men, as we said, have been left on by Cleveland, at least 1 each inning. They had 13 yesterday. 13 yesterday and 11 today, for a total of 24 so far. Johnny Antonelli has cracked down on 33 of the Cleveland batsmen. Now Early Wynn is ready to face Dusty Rhodes, who blooped that single into center to drive in a run when he came in as a pinch batter in the 5th inning for Monty Irvin. First pitch to the big fellow is a let-up curveball, swung on and missed for strike 1. Early Wynn taking a sign from Hegan. Regalado playing a shallow third. In comes the curveball, swung on. There's a high foul ball hit off the first base line. That's going to fade off into the customers out of play. Strike 2 to count on Dusty Rhodes. Rhodes has 2 for 2 in the series, 1 for 1 this afternoon. But both of those hits and pinch hit rolls. Now in a set. Comes in 0-2 with an overhand curveball. It's high up at the cap. That's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dusty Rhodes. Regalado moves back a step or 2 at third base. He took over for Al Rosen here in the last half of the 7th inning. The only change in the lineup for Cleveland. Wynn pumps methodically and delivers a fastball upstairs. That was up above the shoulders. 2 balls, 2 strikes to a left-hand hitter. First Giant up in the last half of the 7th inning. 2-1 ball game in favor of the Giants over Cleveland. And a ball game that can jump either way. 2-2 pitch by Early Wynn. An overhand curve swung on. There's a drive deep into right field. It might be. Yep, there it goes. Over the right field wall and parked for a home run. Whoa. They said yesterday's home run by Dusty Rhodes was a cheap home run, but I got news for you. This one sure wasn't. Mr. Dudley, that was hit outside of this park. Sir. Oh, that is hit number 4, run number 3 off Wynn. The Giants lead 3. Go on. The pitch to the plate now to Davy Williams. Is high and on the inside for ball 1. This Dusty Rhodes is on a personal home run binge. He's got 2 runs batted in here this afternoon. The second home run of the series, the Giants' second. Hits to Davy Williams, again high. That's ball 2. Well, when you look back on the 1954 World Series, you'll think of Rhodes. Williams, after a fast curve, foul tips it. That's strike 1. You know something? Only 2 extra base hits by the Giants in these 2 games, and Rhodes has both of them. Both home runs. Early Wynn delivers. Williams takes. There's a fastball outside for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. This is delving into the Joint World Series record book here to find out something about home runs. Find out the Ruth, Gehrigs, and Snyder share the record. 4 home runs in the World Series. Here's a guy who's got a pair of them. He's got a chance. Pitch to the plate, swung on by Williams. There's a high pop-up out in front of the plate. Hegan says, go away, boys, I got it. And he has. A fine catcher, that Hegan. Williams pops up and out to the catcher in front of the plate, Jim Hegan. Down the bullpen, we've got Narleski and Mossy up throwing again for Cleveland. One out here for the Giants, last half of the seventh. The batter coming up is Wes Westrom. He slides to left and walk in that order. Early Wynn ready to pitch to him. Starts his motion. Big fella rears back, throws an overhand curve. It's swung on by Wes. Fouled back for strike one. Wes seems to like to go for that low curveball a lot, down around the knees. 0-1. The Giants leading in the ball game, 3-1. Dusty Rhodes hitting his second series home run as the leadoff man here in the seventh inning. Westrom swings on a fastball and doesn't get it. That's strike two. Rhodes really proud of this one. All the way over the top of the pavilion roof and out of the park. Wynn sets on the 0-2 pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. Comes down to Westrom with a low curve into the dirt. Westrom has ball one, strike two now. Last half, the seventh inning. Second game of the World Series in Polo Grounds in New York City. The Giants are battling. 1-2 pitch by Early Wynn. Swing on. There's a long drive deep into left center field. A well-hit ball going way back. Back up against the boards. The catch is made by Al Smith, about 415 feet away from home plate. Man, that ball was really given a long ride. Al Smith had it played just perfectly. So we have 2 outs here in the seventh inning. That Westrom's really been clobbering that apple in this series. Round of applause for West, despite the fact he was out on a long fly ball. And here comes Johnny Antonelli up now, and he'll probably get a round of applause also. Yep. Antonelli getting a round of applause. Antonelli hitting left-hander has gone 0 for 2 this afternoon. He's flied out to right and forced a man in that order. Wynn delivers to him, throws the fastball outside and high for ball one. See anything like this, Dusty Rhodes? Seems to be made to order for the strategic moves of one Leo DeRocher. Snapped off curveball, whistles inside off the kneecaps to Antonelli for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. In 3 appearances by this guy Rhodes in this series, he's had 3 base hits and has driven in 5 runs. Antonelli strides into a fastball and then takes it high. That's ball 3. So of the 8 runs batted in by the Giants, Rhodes having 5, I guess you'd definitely say he was top man on the totem pole. The 3-0 pitch to the plate is a fastball laid through for a strike. So Antonelli's count now is 3-1. Runs batted in a single series. Pitch is swung on. There's a high pop fly going into very short right field. Bobby Avila gets back under it and makes the catch to retire the side. So that's all in the 7th inning for the Giants, but they do pick up a home run, which gives them 1 run here in the 7th inning on that 1 base hit. There were no errors. Nobody was left. And the score at the end of 7 full innings of play now is the New York Giants 3, the Cleveland Indians 1. Well, let's see. Looking into the 8th inning, George Strickland's going to be the first man up. He's going to lead off for the Indians. Well, do you know what he has done at bat so far in this game? If you're keeping your own scorecard with us, you know that he has gone 0 for 3. It's fun and easy to score like a pro. The Gillette World Series record book shows you how to do it. It's free with the 1-piece Gillette razor at the regular price. George Strickland, Hagan, and Early Wynn are a pinch batter. It's a 3-1 ball game in favor of the New York Giants. They have 3 runs, and strange enough, only 4 hits, 2 of one of which has been a home run off Early Wynn. And they have committed no errors this afternoon. They did pop up with 3 yesterday. A pair of home runs in this ball game. Smith for Cleveland leading off in the 1st inning, and now Dusty Rhodes here in the 7th. boost the total for the Giants to 3. 3-1 ball game. Stepping into the 8th inning, George Strickland will be out there in a moment. Johnny Antonelli throwing a few warm-up pitches down. Looks as though we're going to have a pinch batter, though, for Strickland. Dave Philly. Dave Philly is going to come on to bat for Strickland. There's the announcement for him. Dave Philly from Paris, Texas, the switch hitter, who started yesterday's ball game in right field, is coming on. Dave Philly hit on the season this year 226, and in yesterday's ball game, Philly went 0 for 3, so he has no batting percentage as far as this one is concerned. Philly coming on to open the 8th inning for the Cleveland Indians here. They're behind by a pair of runs. Score 3-1 in favor of the Giants. We started talking about the RBI in the single series. The record being held, has been held for quite some time by Garrick. The first pitch here to the plate is a fastball high to Philly for ball 1. Got left-handed activity out in the bullpen. That'll be Don Mossy, probably. Is that right, Jim? Don Mossy? As Philly swings on the next pitch and hits a foul back to the screen. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike on him. Left-hander Don Mossy in the bullpen for Cleveland, which leads us to believe that Early Wynn will be lifted for a pinch batter. Particularly if either Philly batting out for Strickland should get on or Hegan. Johnny Antonelli slowing down in his delivery, late stages of the ball game. Gets set, comes in now 1-1 to the pinch batter and delivers his let-up curve in there low for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Top of the 8th. Ball clubs will entrain tonight for Cleveland. Fastball fired to the plate is outside by shade and runs Phillies count to 3-1. Tomorrow at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Gillette Cavalcade of Sports moves the mutual microphone over there, and Jimmy and I'll be with you again from Cleveland for the opening game out there. And all Cleveland is looking forward to it. They'll be coming in from miles around for the 3-1 pitch to the plate to Philly is over. Right under the letters for called strike 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Philly moves that bat back and forth easily. Antonelli now, 3-2s in, but the swung on. There's a high foul ball hit off to the right of the plate. That's going to come into the second tier out of play. Count holds for Dave Philly at 3-2. We've lost the sunlight here again. It's starting to get a little dark. Of course, we've had a threatening day. Well, I should have said a threatening afternoon. We did have misty, cold rain this morning and most of the night. But still, this field is in very fine shape. And well taken care of. Antonelli is ready now. His 3-2 delivery is the fastball. Swung on and missed by Philly for strike 3. So Antonelli gets strikeout number 7. And Cleveland has 1 man out here in the top of the 8th. Jim Hagan, who has had 1 for 3 this afternoon, 1 for 7 for the entire series, steps in. Tall, dependable catcher of Cleveland. Faces Antonelli with 1 out, nobody on here in the 8th inning. 3-1 in favor of the Giants. Antonelli whistles the first pitch in. The fastball scored through at the knees for a called strike. Cleveland started out in the first inning. It looked as though they were going to clobber Antonelli, but good. And as the boys in the business say, he got over the hump in the first inning, and he's been pretty tough ever since. Delivery is a let-up curve. Swung on and fouled back to the screen by Hagan. Right in the press box. Got away from 3 men in the press box, plus a television cameraman, and rolled right back out onto the field. That is known as the elusive baseball. When you see a baseball do tricks like that, it's what makes you believe there might be a rabbit in the ball after all. Bounce all around. There isn't only a football that bounces crazily.
The baseball will, too. Johnny Antonelli, with a new ball to work with, is ready to pitch. 0-2 to Jim Hegan. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 8th for Cleveland. Antonelli delivers, sidearm curve. It is outside. That's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hagan, tall and slender, leans over the plate, feet wide, spread apart. Antonelli, after pumping twice, offers him the 1-2 pitch. A curve, swung and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 8 for Antonelli. That brings up early winner of pinch batter, and it's going to be Hank Majeski. Carl Erskine, you know, just last year set the strikeout record in the World Series play. And looking down here, the pitcher's record and so forth in the North World Series record book, you can find Carl Erskine's name. So you can check up on me on that. Carl Erskine had 14 strikeouts. That is the record. Hank Majeski now, batting for Early Wynn. Antonelli throws to this veteran. Pitch is swung on. There's a bounding ball hit to Alvin Dark. It bounces off his chest. He picks up close to first. Just in time. It got him. Just in time. That was one of those eyelash plays. Well, Majeski is out on a close play. Alvin Dark almost had that ball get away from him. So let's see. Nothing across here in the 8th inning. And the score at the end of 7 1/2 innings of play remains the New York Giants 3, the Cleveland Indians 1. Don't mind if I take just a few seconds with you guys out there who use the 3-piece Gillette razors. So far as all-out comfort is concerned, you're doing okay by your face, that's for sure. But for speed and convenience, well, the 3-piece honestly is just not in the same class with the modern 1-piece Gillette Super Speed. For that matter, no other shaving instrument even compares with this precision-made Gillette. There's nothing to take apart. You change blades in a flash. To clean, just rinse. What shaves you get? Clean, comfortable, good-looking. They never miss. You really ought to try the Gillette Super Speed. $1 buys it, complete with travel case and blue blade dispenser. Yes, sir. And the enlarged 112-page fact-filled Gillette World Series record book is included free.
At shortstop and batting the number 7 position, Sam Dente. Here in the 8th inning, and Don Mossy is going to be your pitcher. Dente appearing here for the second time. Comes over to take the shortstop job in the 8th inning. Strickland was lifted for a pinch batter. Of course, as you know, Majeski batted for Wynn in the top half of the 8th inning. Wynn is out of the ball game now, and coming on is Mossy. A round of applause for Early Wynn, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes a long walk to the Cleveland clubhouse. Early Wynn here this afternoon in pitching 7 innings to the New York Giants. Gave up 3 runs on 4 base hits. He walked 1 man, struck out 5, and wild pitched 1 time. Let's see. We're going to check up on that and make absolutely certain. As far as walks are concerned for Early Wynn, he walked 2. Thank you, Jim. So taking over now is left-hander Don Mossy, M-O-S-S-I. Don Mossy ready to pitch to Whitey Lockman standing in at the plate. He throws a fastball that's high and inside for ball 1. Don Mossy comes down with the next delivery. A fastball swung on by Whitey Lockman and popped up off the right field line. Going deep behind first base is Vic Wirtz in foul territory and takes it for the out. And before we have the next man up, Alvin Dark, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Mutual, the radio network for all America.
WGN, your exclusive World Series station in Chicago.
The Redwood City, California left-hander Don Mossy on the mound now for Cleveland. Kicks and throws to Alvin Dark. Sends a curve through there but low for ball 1. Alvin Dark has 1 hit 3 times up.
Comes down with his 1-0 delivery. Dark takes a fastball, poured in over the shins for ball 2. Mossy, a very deliberate worker, hides that ball behind his back. The regular season, he won 6 and lost 1. Got very few starts. Dark slugs at the next pitch and hits a high foul ball coming back near the screen. Bounces off the screen and down onto the playing field. So that means that Albin's count is 2 balls, 1 strike. Mossy in the regular season pitched no shutouts. He pitched in 40 ball games, 2 of them complete. Struck out 54, gave up 39 bases on balls, surrendered 56 base hits. Had an earned run average of 1.94, and that's pretty sharp. The left-hander pours a fastball into Alvin Dark, and it's high and outside for ball 3. 3-1. Don Mossy pitching now for Cleveland. Comes down again with a fastball, and Dark leans into it and doesn't offer. It costs him. It's over. Count is 3-2. Mossy, after the rosin bag, looks down to Dark. The way these clouds are moving over here at the Polo Grounds, here's a 3-2 pitch. Swung on by Dark and laced right to Bobby Avila. Line drive to the second baseman for out number 2. It's hard to say here the way these shadows are moving around over the playing field gives you a sort of a weird, eerie feeling. As though someone with a big spotlight is shining him through the clouds at intervals. Now Mossy to face Don Mueller. Don is 0 for 3 this afternoon, bounced out to second base. First time up, takes a curve, this time high for ball 1. Don flied to right field in the 4th and flied out to center field in the 6th. He's 0 for 3. Choke hitter, widespread stance at the plate. Mossy comes in with an overhand fastball, and Mueller punches it foul off to the left of the plate back into the stands. 1 ball, 1 strike on Don Mueller. 2 down, last half of the 8th. There are no base runners. The Giants leading 3-1. Darkness is starting to settle down here over Gotham. Mossy pumps, kicks, and throws. Fastball. Mueller again slaps it foul. This one up to the facade off the left field line. That bounces down into the customers. At Cleveland infield now with Sam Denny at shortstop has Vic Wertz at first, Bobby Avila at second, Sam Denny at short. Rudy Regalado with third. Mossy delivers an overhand let-up curveball. Swung on, hit right back to the mound. Mossy's got it. Fires over to first base to Vic Wertz. And it's in time for the out. Slight collision between Mueller and Wertz, but neither man happens to be even shaken up. So that's the third out here for the Giants in the 8th. They have nothing across. And the score at the end of the 8th inning is the New York Giants 3, the Cleveland Indians 1.
Look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp and listen, mister. How are you fixed for play? Do you have plenty? How are you fixed for play? You better check. Please make sure you have enough. 'Cause a worn-out blade makes shaving mighty tough. How are you fixed for blades? Better look. Gillette the blades we need.
You know, we're continually thumbing through the Gillette World Series record book, and, well, I'd like to appraise you of one thing we've come up with. Only once has a team ever lost the first 2 games and come back to take the World Series. That was in 1921 when the New York Giants did it, as you'll see. 1921, the Giants did it. They lost 2 games and then came back to win the series. Well, you can pick out all kinds of information in this little book. Now the top of the 9th inning. And the first man up here for Cleveland will be their leadoffer, Al Smith, who punched a home run to lead off the ball game. Let's see, for the New York Giants, as it now stands, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. They have stranded only 3 men this afternoon. You check me on those totals, Jimmy. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 men left. Is that right? And see, for the Cleveland Indians, they have 1 run on a total of 6 hits off Antonelli. They've committed no errors, and they have stranded a total of 11.
And the first pitch here to Smith is low outside for ball one. So we've gotten the top of the ninth inning started with Johnny Antonelli working to Al Smith. He's had one hit and 3 tries. That was his home run. Fastball to him is inside off the knees for ball 2. Antonelli taking his sign from Western. Johnny pumps, rears back, and delivers fastball. It's fired right through off the belt buckle. That's strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. So the time grows short for the Cleveland Indians. They have 3 outs left to them to try to do something about a 2-run deficit. 3-1 in favor of the Giants. Smith waggles that bat back and forth, puts it on his shoulders. Antonelli comes in with a fastball. Swung on, hit right back off the leg of Johnny Antonelli. Dart comes in, picks up bare hand, throws to first, not in time. Smith sliding into first base is there. That was a hard smash off the leg of Johnny Antonelli. Ripped right back through the middle. So that'll go as a base hit for Al Smith to open the ninth inning. That's the 7th hit given up now by Antonelli. And it could be that the Indians are cooking something up in the TP. Bobby Avila was base hit hungry today. He's gone 0 for 3, walked 1 time. That was his last time up. Prior to that, he'd gone 0 for 3. He's coming up. Very quickly, Whit Wilhelm, the knuckleballer, gets up and starts throwing in a giant bullpen. That was the signal, an alarming one. Antonelli looks down now to Bobby Avila. This guy Smith at first base can really move. He can pick him up and lay him down. Down comes the pitch to Avila. He strides into a curve and doesn't offer. Down in the bullpen. Who do you think starting to throw for Cleveland? Rapid Robert. Bob Feller. Remember when he had that blazing fastball of his? The sports world was talking about how the young fellow from Bend Meter, Iowa could rear back and pour it in. Well, he pitches now with his head and his heart. There's a slow curve swung on by Avila and hit foul down the third base line to run his count to 1-1. Two ball in play to Antonelli. Scott Feller warming up the bullpen for Cleveland. Certainly been an asset to that ball club this year. Now Antonelli ready to pitch to Avila on the 1-1 count. Al Smith leading off at first with nobody down, top of the ninth. 3-1 the Giants. Pitch to the plate swung on by Avila and hit foul right back to the screen. The last 3 or 4 years, somebody comes up trying to ring the death knell for Bob Feller in the pitching department. They tried to do it again this spring, but he posted a record of 13 wins for Cleveland this year against 3 defeats. Against pretty fair country pitching. Now the 1 ball and 2 strike pitch to Bobby Avila. Antonelli nods in accord with the sign offered by Westrom. Smith leads off at first, not too big a lead. In comes the pitch. Avila swings, and there's a line shot hit into left field for a base wrap. Smith goes down to second to hold on, and the tying runs are on for Cleveland. Bobby Avila wraps one through the hole between short and third and into left field. Smith, playing it safe, goes down to second and holds up. Hit number 8 off Antonelli. And look at that Wilhelm thrown out in the bullpen for the Giants now. He's really heating up. Time is called for the minute while Alvin Dark comes in to say something to his pitcher, then says something to Whitey Lockman. A conference between Johnny Antonelli and Wes Westrom. Leo DeRosa comes to the top of the dugout steps and holds up one finger. Of course, that's some sign language to the Giants. Of course, we couldn't begin to interpret it. Johnny Antonelli got himself a peck of trouble here in the top of the 9th inning. The tying runs are on for the Cleveland Indians. First and second. Both of them are fast men and they can move. And this guy up at the plate, Larry Doby, can hit that ball a country mile. Left-hand hitter. Doby's 0 for 4. Swings on the first pitch and fouls it right back to the screen. Antonelli fed him the fastball. Doby back to dry his hands as he picks up a double handful of dirt. Now steps up, puts that left foot forward, gets his stance set well at the plate, gets his spikes ground in.
Got to bend slightly at the knees. A lot of tension, a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now. Runners taking their leads at first and second. And time is called for the moment while Antonelli backs off the mound, chases the runners back in, and Doby gets himself set. Now Antonelli comes up to the rubber, to the top of the stretch. Deals off a curve and an attempted bunt by Larry Doby is fouled off to the left of the plate. So that was to be Al Lopez's surprise move. Kept the runners along, both of them in scoring position. They're expecting, of course, Larry Doby to be swinging away, as he's a powerhouse hitter. With that attempted bunt being fouled off, runs his count to strike two, and the big danger of that bunt has been taken off. Although it has been taken off, Thompson is not going to be going too deep there at third base. He's going to stay up almost on the base paths. Right side of the infield playing deep in the event that Doby should swing away and not go after one, although the big danger of the bunt has gone off. Antonelli in a squeeze here in the top of the ninth inning. Looks back at his runners. Delivers the plate. Doby takes a pitch high by the cap. That's ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right here's a situation, everybody, where a ball game can change in the twinkling of an eyelash. The sun breaks out now and starts to cast those weird shadows down by third base and out in left field. Down comes the pitch, sidearm curve. Doby takes it. The sidearmer's outside. That's ball 2. And if you recall, the sun was shining brilliantly for Cleveland in the first inning when Smith led off with his home run. Then it darkened up, and since that time, it's been playing hide and seek with us. Right now, the sun is out. Not a lot of it, but we have it here. Runners at first and second for Cleveland. Nobody out, top of the ninth inning. Both men on the bases can fly. Smith and Avila. Down comes the pitch. Doby swings and misses on a fastball for strike 3. Johnny Antonelli poured it in there for his 9th strikeout. Poured the fastball to Doby. 3 times he has struck out Doby. Say, we're going to check up on those strikeouts here, just to make absolutely certain. I've got 9. Good, right? Check me, gentlemen. 9 strikeouts for Johnny Antonelli. Now coming up to the plate is Rudy Regalado for his first at-bat. He took over for Al Rhodes and ran for him, if you recall, back in the 7th inning, and then came in the bottom of the 7th and played third base. So Regalado is coming in, hitting right-handed. First pitch to him is curveball. Regalado swings on, hits it down to Alvin Dark. He picks up, throws to Davey Williams for 1 at second. The throw to first, not in time. Not in time. So Regalado is the base runner at first base. He, too, is fast. Bobby Avila forced from short to second at second base for the second out. Al Smith moving on over to third. So the tying runs are still on for Cleveland. And here's Vic Wirtz. Well, Vic Wirtz has been the big siege gun. But everybody, I'd just like to say that after the last man is out, be sure to stand by for Bill Corum's summary and highlights of today's game. He should have a lot of them for us. One of the really great students of baseball, Bill brings you the wrap-up of the day's play in his own wonderful way. Antonelli ready now. Pitches to Vic Wirtz, hitting left-handed. The fastball is outside for ball 1. Have you noticed, everybody, that in the World Series play so far, we've had no double plays, and have been quite a few of them tried. But they haven't quite been able to complete them. Cleveland's still alive and kicking here in the top of the 9th inning. Have the tying runs on. Vic Wirtz, the guy who was the big gun yesterday for Cleveland, is up there at the plate right now. This afternoon, he's had 1 base hit and 2 official times up. Swings on this pitch. Fastball and doesn't get it. Antonelli fed him one just under the letters. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count on Victor Wirtz. Right now, batting at .714. Tension and pressure mounting here with every pitch. Johnny Antonelli knows the importance of every pitch he's making. Looks over at third base, sees Al Smith stepping off. Looks at first to Regalado, who can move also. Second is open. 2 down, top of the ninth. Now Antonelli gets set. 1-1 delivery to Vic Wirtz. Down it comes. An overhand fastball. Swung on again and missed. For strike 2. Antonelli just rearing back and cutting it loose. And time is called for the moment by catcher Wes Westrom. He goes out to the plate to talk with, out to the mound from the plate to talk with Johnny Antonelli. Looking back over the men left on here this afternoon, Cleveland has left 11 on. They have 2 on now, and they left 13 on yesterday. The record for men left on by a single club in a ball game in the World Series, if memory serves me rightly, is 14. Now Antonelli, ready to come in there 1-2 to Vic Wirtz. It's the last chance here for Cleveland. Antonelli delivers a sidearm curve, low and outside as he tried his crossfire. That's ball 2. Antonelli monkeying around at the mound. Once again, Westrom calls for time to go out and see if his pitcher's all right. Let's see, Cleveland with 1 run, 8 hits. They've committed no errors. And they're battling here in the 9th inning. Try to overcome the 2-run lead the Giants now possess. Giants leading 3-1. They have 3 runs on only 4 hits. They got all 4 of them off early wins. They went 7 innings. Now Victor Wirtz has the count of 2-2. Antonelli's ready, checks his runners, delivers an overhand fastball. Wirtz swings and foul tips it right back into the mask. Plate umpire Charlie Berry. That sort of shook Charlie up a little bit. Said he wants to see that ball. Takes it out of play. That hit him in the mask so hard it sort of turned it to the right. Cap and mask and all. So it's no kid's chore behind that plate, either for the catcher or for the umpire. New ball in play to Johnny Antonelli. Count remaining on Victor Wirtz. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 outs. Top of the 9th. 3-1 favored the Giants. This ball game going right down to the wire. Just the way it was expected to go ever since we found out that Cleveland and New York were going to play in this one. Antonelli out there blowing his neck trying to get out of this. Ready to pitch to Wirtz. Comes in with an overhand fastball. Wirtz leans back to take it inside for ball 3. Well, Mr. Dudley, it's really come down to the wire now, hasn't it?
Boy, this is a tense moment, Al. This is what fans dream about.
Well, they don't have to dream about this one. It's a reality. It's right here. 3-2 on Victor Wirtz. The 2 men on. There are 2 outs for Cleveland, top half of the 9th inning. And it's all up to the guy wearing number 23, Victor Wirtz, who can slug that ball when he gets a hold of it. He proved that yesterday. He's proved it all season long. John Antonelli breaks back off the rubber. On the runners, Regalado at first and Smith at third, move back in. Al Lopez comes up to inquire some point of plate umpire Charlie Berry. And they're talking it over. Johnny Antonelli ready to pitch now as Lopez turns and walks back to the Cleveland dugout. Victor Wirtz coming up to the plate after having been off to the side. Steps in, puts the bat up on his left shoulder. Johnny Antonelli gets ready to pitch to him. Looks the situation over, delivers an overhand fastball swung on as Regalado breaks from first, and it's fouled right back to the screen. So Regalado was making way for Vic Wirtz. That ball caught up behind the screen, up in the second tier, and a fan crawled out on the overhanging ledge to pick it up. So everybody, Vic Wirtz is still alive and kicking here in the 9th inning. Smith steps off at third. Regalado moves away from first. They're representing the tying runs for Cleveland. Victor Wirtz up there with a count of 3-2. He's given Johnny Antonelli a bad time, and Antonelli's trying to do the same for him. Now Johnny's ready. So is Vic Wirtz. Down comes the pitch as the runner breaks. Again, it's swung on. There's a high foul ball spinning back to the top of the roof. Oh, the count holds right on to Vic Wirtz at 3-2. Red Kress yells down from his first base coaching spot. Tony Cuccinello behind third, both hooping it up, trying to get Vic Wirtz, get a hold of one. John outfield around the right and deep. Right side of the infield deep. Regalado will be moving again from first on toward second when Antonelli pitches 3-2 to Vic Wertz. He's ready now, and there's the throw to first base. Almost got away from Whitey Lockman. Whitey wasn't quite expecting it, I don't believe. Big ooh and an ah from the fans. Regalado was playing real close. He wasn't going to get too far away. Vic Wertz goes back to visit the batter's rosin bag, kicks him out of his spikes with the meat end of the bat, comes right back up there and digs in, gets his stance. Johnny Antonelli ready to pitch to him, 3-2. Johnny sets, delivers, fastball swung on by Wertz, hit out into left field. Dusty Rhodes comes over, gets under it. He's got it. The ball game is over. So for Cleveland here in the top half of the ninth inning. No runs. There were 2 base hits. So no errors. 2 men were left on. Well, that's it. The Giants take the second one. And that gives them 2 of 2 now. The final score, the New York Giants 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. They had 3 men left on. For the Cleveland Indians, 1 run, 8 hits, no errors. They had 13 men left. The winning pitcher is Johnny Antonelli. The losing pitcher is Early Wynn. Now, everybody, in just a moment, Bill Corum will review the highlights of today's game for you.
Viv makes you look so wonderful.
That's Viv. V-I-V. New Viv lipstick by Tony.
Viv makes you look so wonderful.
Yes, because Viv is a new kind of lipstick. Never before a lipstick so red. No, never before a lipstick so red. In 6 vivid red shades, from pink to plum. One shade is redder than a fire engine. Another is redder than a rose. Each new shade is more vivid than...
Looks so wonderful.
That's Viv. V-I-V. New Viv lipstick by Tony.
Viv makes you look so wonderful.
Yes, because Viv is a new kind of lipstick. Never before a lipstick so red. No, never before a lipstick so red. In 6 vivid red shades, from pink to plum. One shade is redder than a fire engine. Another is redder than a rose. Each new shade is more vivid than reds have ever been before, because they have a new depth of color.
Viv makes you look so wonderful.
It makes you look and feel so vividly alive.
Viv makes you look so wonderful.
Viv stays on, yet keeps your lips soft, moist, and smooth, because Viv is the comfortable, long-lasting lipstick. See what Viv, the really vivid lipstick, can do for you.
Viv makes you look so wonderful.
Viv, new Viv lipstick by Tony.
This is Bill Corum speaking, and man, was that some finish. Had your heart right up in your throat because it could have been anybody's ball game right down to the last pitch with the mighty Vic Wertz, who's been taking the Giant pitchers apart, particularly yesterday, and the big hitter in the series so far, aside from Dusty Rhodes, who's sensational. And, of course, his last home run that he hit today, as different from the one that he hit yesterday, he needed no Chinese laundry ticket on that one. That one hit the upper facade, and it was really tattooed. So in 3 trips to the plate, this old-fashioned pinch hitter, and that's Dusty Rhodes for sure, he thinks he can hit anybody in the world, has driven in 5 runs, and that has made the difference for the Giants. That is offensively, of course. But today the story with me was Johnny Antonelli. Great athlete, great pitcher, great boy, and he's going to be, is already one of the very best in the game. Won 21 games for the Giants this year, is their star pitcher, and beat Captain Early Wynn. The number 2 ace are one of the big 3, whichever way you want to make it, of the Indians, and of course put the Giants in a very, very happy spot. They've beaten both Bob Lemon, who Al Lopez got 23 lemonades out of in the American League, which is a lot of lemonades from any lemon, even as big a final one as Bob. They've beaten him, and they've beaten Early Wynn here today. Wynn, the veteran, the cagey old veteran, pitching well, steadily and strong as Lemon did yesterday, but being outpitched a little bit, not in hits. The Giants just made them count, but a little bit in the runs where games are won and lost by this big fine kid, Johnny Antonelli, a bonus baby with the Braves, as many of you know, though he doesn't particularly like the word, and he's a real big leaguer now. Nobody's going to have to keep him on any bonuses on any ball club. Very odd thing about Antonelli, and perhaps everybody doesn't know it, that makes him a great pitcher. And I got this from West Westrom, the fellow that catches him, old Iron Mike. Heady and smart as catchers come, and as fine a receiver, and hitting pretty well in this series, too, he is. He told me that most pitchers, where they had to make a pitch, as Antonelli did here when the last fly ball from Works to left field, they have just one great pitch to rely on. This fella can throw you any one of his three, and Westrom himself says he doesn't know which is the best of the three. And by that I mean, of course, his fastball, his curve, and his changeup. He can use any one in any tough spot, in any given spot, and it's just as good as the other, according to Westrom. So, he was today a fine pitcher, and as we swing toward Cleveland and the World Series cavalcade hits the road for that great city where we'll play tomorrow, weather permitting, at Municipal Stadium, Dusty Rhodes has been doing about all the hitting here. He, of course, came up as a pinch hitter, and that was the 17th time in 47 trips to the plate as a pinch hitter that he had gotten a hit. And, of course, that's great pinch hitting, and you have to differentiate it from his home run. He wasn't a pinch hitter then, of course. He was in the game in place of Monty Irvin in left field, and did play out there quite a part of the latter part of the season in left field. But as a pinch hitter, 17 for 47, well, that's really pinch hitting. And I know no better way to describe him than to say that he is an old-fashioned one that walks up there just as sure as odd incidents and records in every World Series. I'm sure never before have there been two home runs on two pitches, such as we saw in last night's game with Rhodes hitting, and then Al Smith walking up and getting Cleveland's only run today on the first pitch off Antonelli. Well, a great ball game. You know, the Giants won 3-1. You know, they lead the series 2-0, and they're sitting in the honey seat right now, whatever happens from now on. Now, this broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Tonight, we want to thank our engineers, Gifford Campbell and Don McLean, our statistician, Rex DeZulo, and this program was directed and produced under the supervision of Mutual Sports Director, my good friend, Paul Jonas. Now, don't forget, tomorrow afternoon from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, the third game of the World Series. And fans, tomorrow is another day, and Gillette's Cavalcade of Sports will be back on the air promptly at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to report the third game of the World Series for you, play-by-play from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. Until then, smooth sailing, smooth shaving, and good afternoon from your radio host, the Gillette Safety Razor Company, and yours truly, Bill Cole.
Worn-out blade makes shaving mighty.
How are you fixed for blades? Better look. Gillette, the blades we need.